I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the terrifying world of your imagination. I have an unusual story for you about a crack in a cellar wall that resists all efforts to repair it. Despite all the learning through the ages, despite the world's great progress in physics, chemistry, biology, there are certain matters which cannot be explained by our computers or our wise men. Matters which may never have a logical explanation. Our mystery drama, The Crack in the Wall, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sidney Sloan and stars Celeste Holm. It was a cold, rainy, windy day when Paul and Nora Sandfort laid their child to rest in Green Tree Cemetery. Despite all the soothing words of friends and relatives, Nora's despair was inconsolable. She felt that nothing could ease the pain in her heart caused by the loss of her only child.
Our Father, which art in heaven,
My darling.
hallowed be thy name.
My baby.
Thy kingdom
Why did you have to die?
Nora, darling, please. Our religion teaches us that God, in his infinite wisdom,
Don't
decides...
speak these empty words to me. I accepted that because it never touched me before. I never thought of it. But our daughter, our beautiful, innocent child, just 16. Why?
One does not question these matters, Nora.
I do question. For the first time in my life, I question. I would do anything. Anything to bring my Ruth back to this world.
Nora, please. Now, you know that's impossible.
Why?
Why? Because our little girl, Ruth, is burnt to death. Nothing you can do or say or hope can change that. Yes, Nora.
Are you busy with something?
No. I'm just reading the newspaper. First chance I've had to take a look at it today.
The minister was here today, Dr. Fowler.
Oh?
Said he wanted to see our new house.
New? This house is over 100 years old.
Well, new for us, he meant. It was just an excuse to come here, actually. He wanted to know why I hadn't been to church in the last several months.
What did you tell him?
Oh, I don't know. It was awkward. I said I'd be back next Sunday. Made some excuse about not having felt well lately.
Well, I'm glad.
About my going back to church?
Yes. But more important than that, it means that you're getting over this depression, getting out into the world again, beginning to forget.
No. No, you're wrong, Paul. I'll never get over wanting my little girl back with me. I'll never forget.
Please believe me, Nora. I loved Ruth, too. But I accept the fact that she's gone from us forever.
I'll never accept that. Oh, by the way, now I remember what I wanted to remind you about.
What?
It's about that crack in the cellar wall, right in front of the washer and dryer. There's a terrible draft that comes from it.
Well, there's no crack there, Nora.
No crack? I thought I'd get rheumatism from the cold draft when I did the washing today. It hit you right in the back.
I had that repaired. I paid for it. It's on the general bill for the repairs we had to make on the old house before we could move in.
Well, then they cheated you. Charged you and never did the job.
You sure? Seems to me that I remember.
Never been done. Those contractors will try. You know, it's Mr. Carroll, isn't it? His number's on the telephone stand. Why don't you call him?
Oh, it's 7:30, Nora. Well, come to think of it, the only time I could possibly reach him would be at night. He'd be busy all day out on the job. Hello, Miss Carroll? Paul Sanford. I'm sorry to bother you, but one of the items on your bill to me for repairs on my house, item 28, repair crack in cellar wall, north side interior, $45.60. You never closed up that crack. You what? Hold on a minute. Nora, he says he supervised that item himself, mixed the cement for it.
Well, just tell him that he's got it wrong.
Mr. Carroll, My wife says the crack is still there. It hasn't been repaired. Okay, sometime tomorrow morning? Right, thank you. It's kind of funny. He said he's willing to bet $100 that he completed the work.
Mrs. Sanford, I'm finished with the job, and I want your okay.
I'll put on the pot and give you a cup of coffee.
Thanks, I'd appreciate that. Come right down. I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Won't be a minute. I'm coming, Mr. Carroll.
Mrs. Sanford, the strangest thing.
What did you say, Mr. Carroll?
Look at that wall.
Oh, dear. Another crack?
No, it's not another crack.
What?
It's the same crack. I just filled it with cement.
But you couldn't have. It looks old and dry.
Look at my hands. They're still covered with cement. Here are my tools, my trowel, my hammer and chisel. I could swear it was closed up not 5 minutes ago.
And that cold draught flowing from it.
Like from a tomb. Like from a tomb. Oh, Mr. Sanford. Come in.
Thank you, Dr. Fuller.
We'll come into the study. We won't be disturbed there. Right this way. You sit down, won't you?
Thank you. Please forgive me for interrupting you at this hour. I don't quite know how to begin. As you know, we've been through a horrible experience.
Yes. Losing your daughter in that fire.
It's our only child. Just 16.
Mr. Sanford, you must get hold of yourself.
Yes. You see, I've been holding my emotions back for months. I had to be strong for Nora's sake.
She's taken this very hard, yes, I know.
Yes, she hasn't gotten over it. It shook her to the very foundation of her belief.
I gather that it's been only recently that you both came back into the church.
She's definitely twisted mentally. Her preoccupation is with a crack in the cellar wall, which she says cannot be repaired.
What?
Well, there's a long, jagged crack in the cellar wall. It's been there since we bought the house earlier this year, after our other house burned down.
Have you tried to have this crack filled with cement?
Oh, yes, we tried.
The way you say that is very strange.
Well, I paid Carroll, the builder, for repairs on the house. He was certain that he'd repaired the wall. However, he came back and patched up the crack again when he asked for my wife's okay on the job after he'd finished. They went down to the cellar and looked. The crack was open again.
I don't understand.
Neither do I. Carroll said that he'd not left the cellar, that he'd called my wife to look at it.
What's your explanation?
I have none, Dr. Fowler, none.
Is that you down in the cellar, Paul?
Yes, Nora. I'm filling up the crack in the wall with cement.
Do you think that's wise, Paul?
Wise? Well, I thought you wanted the wall repaired. Carol won't come here anymore, so...
Well, that's what I mean. Paul, there's some very good reason why that wall resists repair.
Well, that's a strange way of putting it. Wall resist repair. So you thought the wall had... I don't quite know how to put this. As though the wall
had a will of its own?
Nora, that's ridiculous.
Is it? Mr. Carroll tried twice to fill that crack. He gave up.
I know. I just received a check from him for $45.60, refunding the money I paid him for the job. Come on, let's go upstairs. This old cellar gives me the creeps.
Paul!
Look! My God. It's disappearing. The cement I just put into the cracks dissolving into thin air. Mr. Edmund. I'm calling about this house you sold us. No, it's a good, solid old house. It's just that my wife isn't happy here. We're all alone, as you know. It just isn't right for us. Yes, I know. I'll have to take a loss if I change now, but I'm prepared for that. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, around 5. Okay? Good. Goodbye, Mr. Edmonds.
Paul, who was that on the phone?
Oh, Nora, I called Mr. Edmonds.
The real estate man?
That's right.
You're thinking of selling?
Well, I thought you'd want to get out of here, too, Nora.
Whatever gave you that idea?
Now, that's a very strange attitude.
Don't you know what this all means?
No, I don't understand it. Frankly, it scares me.
Ruth is trying to reach us.
What are you talking about?
It was just 2 days ago. I was lying in bed. You were sound asleep. I heard the clock chime 3. I felt something urging me to leave the bedroom and go down into the cellar.
Nora, I've got to take you to a doctor.
Paul, I'm not out of my mind. I tell you, our daughter is calling to me. She's trying to get to me.
Darling, Nora, listen to me. What you're saying doesn't make sense. Our child is Nora. Burned to death.
I spoke to her. I spoke to her through the crack in the cellar wall.
You what?
I spoke to our Ruth, and she spoke to me. Paul, wake up.
Huh?
Wake up.
Nora. What time is it?
Quiet. Now, do you hear?
Hear what?
She's calling to me. Our little girl. She wants us. She needs us.
Nora, listen to me. You don't hear anything. You just think you hear because you want to hear.
Listen.
I don't hear anything.
There it is again. It's very faint, but you can hear it. Just try hard enough.
Please, darling, try to rest. I've made an appointment for you with Dr. Cooper.
I don't need a doctor. Who's calling me?
Yes. Sounds like it's coming from...
The cellar. I must go to her.
No, don't. You mustn't.
My little girl is calling. I must go to her.
Was Ruth calling to her mother, or was Paul Sandfort falling into the clouded supernatural obsession that controlled Nora's life? He thought he heard the voice of his child calling to her mother. He couldn't be sure, but Nora's certainty was so strong that he was almost convinced that he heard it too. Everything that Paul and Ruth Sandfort believed in is being drained away. They are living in a nightmare of twisted emotions, pulled farther and farther from the normal life they had known into a tangled, dreamlike world in which they hear the voice of their child calling to them.
You're not going down into that cellar, Nora.
It was Ruth's voice calling. Are you coming with me, Paul, or shall I go down alone?
Nora, please. Now, we're dreaming this. It isn't happening.
I heard her voice. You said you heard it. She was calling to me for help. Are you coming with me, or shall I go alone?
I'll come with you, dear. Just to prove to you that there's nothing there. Nothing. How could there be?
I know there is something there. Come.
Now, wait. Don't try to go down those steep cellar stairs in the dark. Turn on the light.
It's out. It's not working.
Here, let me try. Oh, I'm not going down there in the dark.
There's some candles in the cupboard just outside the door. Get them.
Well, candles won't do any good.
Get them.
I just remembered. I've got a flashlight in the kitchen table drawer.
Hurry.
Here we are. Now stay right behind me. I'll go first.
Flash the light around.
No, there's nothing. Nothing but that crack in the wall. Let's go back upstairs, Nora.
Good evening.
What?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry if I frightened you.
What? Who are you? What are you doing in our house?
I am inspecting the wall that needs repair.
And who are you?
Why, I'm the helper.
What are you talking about, helper? Whom are you helping?
You?
I don't like this, Paul. Please make him go away.
If you want me to, I'll go. But I thought you needed me.
Now, I want you out of here.
I see you have a hammer in your hand. You're afraid of me. Well, believe me, I came to help you.
Who sent you?
My, employer.
Who?
Your friend. Your friend who knows of your sorrows. He sent me to seal up the crack in the wall.
Well, I've tried. Several people have tried to do that. It won't stay closed.
I can close it for you if you want me to. I repeat, if you want me to. You may not want it.
Why?
You will not hear the voice of your daughter ever again.
No. Don't seal it. Please.
Nora. Now, maybe it would be better.
No.
No, this is insanity. Nora, our daughter is then buried.
And you think that is the end?
Of course. It's the end of mortal life.
And do you share your husband's beliefs, Nora?
No. Ruth was calling to me. I want her back. I want to hold her in my arms.
Am I dreaming? This can't be happening. What are we doing standing here talking to this...
Paul, please, don't. There's no one here.
He was here? Where is he? He couldn't get past us up the stairs. Nora, where did he go?
Who?
Nora, darling. What's happened to you? Speak to me, dear. Speak.
Paul. What are we doing here in the cellar? How did we get here?
And you say, Mr. Sanford, that you think you saw this creature in the cellar of your house?
No, it wasn't what you say. No, not a creature. It was a man. Small, dwarf-like. He said he'd come to repair the wall.
At 3 o'clock in the morning? You saw this man too, Mrs. Sanford?
No. I don't know what Paul's talking about. I didn't see anything. I was fast asleep. Paul woke me and told the story.
I see. Your daughter's death was a terrible shock to you both. It's preying on your thoughts. Your grief pushed the normal day-to-day living from your minds. You began to
I heard her voice, Doctor. I heard Ruth's voice calling to me.
Of course you did. But try to think rationally, Mrs. Sanford. You know it's impossible for you to have actually heard the voice of your daughter. Seriously, you can't believe you did, can you? Seriously, can you believe that?
I don't know.
It's all so simple if you will recognize the true authority.
Who are you?
I am merely a conveyor of ideas, a messenger.
Then you are sent by the devil?
Perhaps I'm your friend. Call me the helper.
Can you help me? Can you bring my daughter back to me?
Under certain conditions. But you might find the cost too high.
What? Tell me. Nothing is too costly, too terrible. I'll agree to anything.
Even if it meant that you would lose everything? Everything you've been taught about life and death since you were a child?
Oh, yes, I agree. I agree to anything just to help me save my child. Help please. Help me.
Nora, wake up, Nora. You're having a bad dream, darling.
Anything. Anything.
Darling, Nora.
Oh, Paul.
You were crying out in your sleep. I woke you.
Paul, he came to see me and told me that
Who, darling?
That ugly little creature. I'd seen him before, but I can't remember where.
The helper. That's what he calls himself.
I heard Ruth calling to me. Then he appeared.
I don't know what it is. I don't want to know. We're getting out of this house and we're not coming back.
Oh, you know, Paul, but I can't.
But don't you see what's happening to us here? Something evil is pursuing us either to destroy us or drive us insane.
No, I can have my daughter back. He'll help me.
You can't believe that.
I believe it.
What does he expect in exchange?
I can't tell you, Paul. I just can't tell you.
Oh, Dr. Fowler, right on time.
Is Mrs. Sanford home?
No. No, I called her sister and got her to make a date with Nora so she wouldn't be here. My work is suffering. We're not sleeping well. Nora's had terrible dreams, nightmares.
You told your physician, Dr. Coombs?
If anyone can help us, it's God. Dr. Fowler, we have seen the evil one.
What?
We have seen him. We have spoken with him. It's either the devil or one of his emissaries. He calls himself the Helper.
My good man, in this enlightened age, when we speak of Satan, it is usually, what I mean to say is we think of the devil as the embodiment of all evil, but not as an actual being.
I see. Well, Dr. Fowler, if you can't help us, we may have to go to someone who can. There are groups where they believe in the devil.
Mr. Sanford, Paul, please understand. I cannot believe in the devil as being other than an abstract name for evil.
If I can show him to you, will you believe me then? I saw him. I have seen the devil and the devil's work, and I'm frightened to death.
Sorry to bother you, Dr. Coombs, but something very disturbing has happened.
Yes?
You know the two people I referred to you, the Sanfords?
Yes?
In your opinion, Dr. Coombs, would you say that they were insane?
Well, I don't know, Dr. Fowler. The word insane is a legal one, not a medical one.
Well, deranged and mentally ill.
Well, I would say from a very cursory examination that they were both suffering from severe emotional stresses brought on by the untimely death of their only child.
Well, would that explain their hallucinations?
Hallucination?
To put it bluntly, Doctor, they think they have been speaking with the devil. Have seen him, in fact.
Not exactly a common delusion in this day and age. If they need medical help, they must come to me. I can't solicit
Yes, I realize that, Dr. Coombs. Perhaps a sanitarium would be the best place for them. They could be taken care of and have a change of scene to get over the grief that they feel.
An excellent idea, Fowler, but who's going to commit them? Can you get them to commit themselves voluntarily?
I don't know. I'll try.
Have you come to any decision?
I've been thinking about it.
I've heard you say you would do anything to have your daughter back. You had made up your mind.
Yes. Oh, yes. But
Still, you hesitate.
what you've asked of me is almost... Well, I'm almost afraid to think of it. It's been in my mind, awake and asleep. I can't tell the difference anymore.
You hesitate. thinking of yourself while your daughter suffers.
Oh, no.
I will leave you now, perhaps never to return. This is your last chance.
Nora.
No,
Nora, darling, listen to me. You're having bad dreams.
I'll do anything.
Wake up, please. Nora, it's me, Paul.
What?
Open your eyes.
No.
You're all
No,
right.
no.
You're safe with me. Darling, it's me, Paul.
Yes. I'm all right now. Paul,
Nora.
I've made my decision
What decision?
about Ruth. I am going to bring her back.
Bring her back? What are you saying?
I'm going to bring her back no matter what the cost, no matter what the consequences are.
Nora and Paul have come far along a tortuous, a frightening path. Now Nora is determined to see the matter to the end, despite the consequences. Forces are tearing at the sanity of Paul and Nora Santfort. Nora's sleeping and waking worlds are so much the same that she can no longer differentiate between them. In her thoughts, in her ears, are the words of her daughter calling to her for help. Paul thinks he has heard the child, too, but is uncertain. He is not sure whether or not it is the driving influence of his wife's obsession or what he has actually heard and seen himself.
I don't know, Doctor. I don't know anymore. Everything is so confused.
I want you to sign commitment papers for your wife.
You mean put her
In a good sanitarium, in a place where she'll be safe and receive the proper treatment for her problems.
I don't know. I don't think she's crazy.
You're not in any condition to judge her mental health, Mr. Sanford.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, I'm asking you to make a difficult decision. I'm also asking you to commit yourself.
No, I won't think of it. Send him away. Send the doctor away. Paul, how can you do this to me? You know I'm not insane. You heard her. That night, we both went down into the cellar, and that little man, you remember? The helper? You saw him, too. You know I'm not crazy. I won't go. I won't. You can't make me.
She's gone into the bedroom, Dr. Coombs.
Is there a lock on the door?
No.
Well, suppose I go in. Perhaps a sedative to quiet her.
No, please, Doctor. Let me speak to her first. She'll listen to me.
Very well. I'll wait out in the car if you want me.
Yes, please go. I think she'll listen to me. If you're not here. Nora? Nora? May I come in?
Is that doctor still here?
No, he's outside in his car.
Paul, how could you do this to me? Deceive me, try to put me away.
I explained everything to you.
I will never consent.
I'm going with you, dear. I'm going in, too.
What? Why? Paul, why do you want to do such a thing?
Because I'm frightened. I've never been afraid in my life before, but this is all beyond me, beyond any rational explanation.
And you think you'll be away from your fear in that place? Oh, Paul, I'm not out of my mind, and neither are you.
How much longer can we stand this?
Listen to me.
What?
I can tell you. Only you.
What?
I've made a pact with the helper.
Oh, Nora.
He has given me the power to bring Ruth back.
You don't know what you're saying.
Oh, yes, I do.
That's impossible. Now, don't be foolish. Don't tell anyone else what you've told me.
Now, you think I'm insane, too, don't you?
Well, I don't know what to think.
He has given me 2 wishes.
2 wishes?
Yes. He said that I would need 2. Actually, all I need is 1. To bring my dear child back.
Yes. Yes, Nora, of course. Now, I want you to do something for me.
What?
Don't fight me now. Go along with me for a little while. Perhaps this nightmare will stop. We'll be able to get out when we want to. I have the doctor's promise.
Can you trust him?
Yes, darling. Since we're committing ourselves, we can get ourselves released merely by asking to be released.
And our poor tortured child? Who will be here to hear her call? Who will be here to comfort her, Paul? We're running away. Deserting her.
Darling Nora, our Ruth will be with us always, no matter where we are. The phone. Oh. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Sanford?
Yes, Dr. Coombs?
I'm calling from the sanitarium.
Is there anything wrong?
Yes, your wife has disappeared.
You mean walked out?
Nobody saw her leave. As a matter of fact, it's a bit of a mystery. Her room was locked.
Perhaps one of the attendants or nurses unlocked the door for her.
No, we've questioned the entire staff. At 1 o'clock, the nurse assigned to that section entered her room to administer a mild sedative. Your wife had complained she was worried because you weren't there.
Well, I was just cleaning up a few urgent matters here. I was coming to commit myself tomorrow morning.
I told her that, but it didn't seem to have any effect.
When was Nora last seen?
Not more than 10 minutes before 1 a.m. Another nurse on the floor answered her ring. She told the nurse about her anxiety and her inability to sleep. She hasn't returned home, has she?
No. What do you want me to do, Doctor?
Stay where you are. She may come home. It's very likely that she will come there.
Emily, I'm sorry to be calling you at this hour, but Nora has disappeared. She walked out of the hospital. The fire, Ruth's death, it's been preying on our minds, and I thought that... Wait, Emily, that's my doorbell. I'll call you back. I just wanted to know if Nora was with you. I'll call you back. Let me know if Nora shows up. Bye. Oh, Dr. Fowler. Come in.
Oh, thank you. I got a call from Dr. Coombs about 20 minutes ago.
Yes?
He asked me to see you. He said you might need me. I came right over. Is there anything I can do to help?
Nothing. Unless you can find Nora. She's been missing since about 1:30 a.m. About 3 hours.
Where would she go? Where could she go?
I don't know.
What? What was that?
I heard it, too.
Do you have a cat, Paul?
No.
Sounded like a cat.
It was Ruth. She's calling Nora.
Ruth?
My daughter.
Oh, yes, your daughter. But she's... You hear your child's voice calling?
You heard it, too.
No, it can't be. That's superstitious nonsense.
That's what I thought. But I don't anymore. Ruth is calling to us from the grave.
I hear it. Paul, pray with me. Pray to God to make her go back.
No. Nora will be here. She will come here and answer to her child's cries. Her mother's love is so strong that Ruth's outstretched hand will reach across the void of death and touch the hand of her mother.
Yes?
Fowler?
Yes?
I thought you were going to report back to me.
I've just been through the most shattering experience of my life.
You saw Mrs. Sanford?
No. I'm not a superstitious man, Dr. Coombs, but I heard the voice of Ruth Sanford. calling to her mother from the grave.
Oh, Dr. Coombs. I thought it was Nora.
She hasn't returned yet, huh? I was talking with your minister, Dr. Fowler. He seemed quite upset.
Any word from the police?
Nothing. They've gotten several false telephone tips from cranks. Only one man identified himself by name, a Mr. Helper.
Helper?
You know him?
Yes, I know him.
The police asked him for his address. He gave them one, but it proved to be a phony. Do you know where to find him?
You won't believe this, Doctor. But the last place I saw him was in my cellar.
What?
I don't know how he got there. I didn't see him leave. Although I was standing talking to him at the moment, he vanished.
Vanished?
Disappeared.
I see. Disappeared right before your eyes. Oh, yes, I remember you telling me about that incident when you both came to my office.
Hello, who's there?
Paul? I've come home. What is he doing here? I won't go back to that place. He can't make me go back.
Nora, dear.
Send him away, Paul. Paul, make him leave. We don't need him.
Mrs. Sanford, as your doctor...
You're not my doctor anymore. Please go. Leave us alone.
Please, Dr. Coombs, your being here will just make her worse.
Very well, if you think you can manage.
Yes, I can manage.
I'm sorry you feel this way about me. Good morning.
He was trying to do what he thought best for you, for us.
He has no way of knowing what is best for us. He was just interfering, keeping us from Ruth.
Nora, please give up that mad notion.
Give it up? Oh, no. Paul, I will not give it up. Tonight, this morning, before dawn, we will bring our child back to us.
Nora, think what you're saying.
I've thought, and I've made up my mind. Before daylight, he said. What time is it now?
It's 20 after 4.
It won't be light before 6. We must do it now. Come. We'll go together.
Go? Where?
To the place I first heard her voice, calling to me, the cellar, the crack in the wall.
Are you sure you want to go through with this? I think, Nora.
I've come too far to turn back now. I don't care what happens to me. It's Ruth we must think of.
All right, Nora, I'll go along. I'd better get my flashlight. The light's still out in the cellar.
No, Paul. What I must do must be done in darkness. No lights. Now, let's go down the stairs. Now, Paul, don't say anything. I must ask for her life from the Master. Oh, Master, listen to my plea. I have paid dearly for this doing. Heed my request and grant it to me in payment. I fear your presence, Master, but I implore you, grant my wish. I wish my daughter were alive and with me now. My daughter, please give me back my daughter. Ruth, where are you? Come to me.
That's Ruth's voice. I see. Oh, my God. Oh, no. No, Nora, stop this. Make her go back. Oh, Nora, she's burned. Her face is Nora, please, just stop. Nora, send her back. Send her back. She's mutilated, disfigured. Nora, you can't bring her back into the world. You must send her back to her grave.
Too terrible
years, he said that you'd need the second. Now I know what he means. Nora.
Yes. I wish my dear daughter were dead and back in her grave.
Nora.
Oh.
It's over.
Oh.
It's all over. Our child is gone. Forever.
Oh, Paul.
May our dear child rest in eternal peace. And so Paul and Nora were left to pick up the fragments of their lives and go on. Strangely enough, the crack in the cellar wall was finally closed, and no human hand had a part in its repair. Our cast included Celeste Holm, Wes Addy, Robert Maxwell, Robert Dryden, and Ann Costello. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The preceding Mystery Theater program was furnished by the CBS Radio Network. This is WOR New York and RKO General Station. At the WOR time signal exactly 8 o'clock, here's John Scott with the news.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Once again, be my guest on a strange journey. A weird, wild trip through a mysterious, uncharted terrain. Bounded only by your imagination. There's an expression, the night of the long knives. And it has come to mean an orgy of murder. And it usually follows a rebellion or a civil war. It's a time when many of those on the winning side take the opportunity to settle some personal scores.
Why are you leaving, Roberto?
It isn't obvious. Who can live here any longer?
There is another woman.
Oh, Pilar, there never was. There never will be another woman.
You are going to her.
There is nothing here for me any longer.
That's a lie.
Pilar, won't you understand?
Yes, I understand one thing. You are tired of me.
Pilar, one day, as soon as...
If I cannot have you, no one will.
But I tell you, there is no one else.
Oh, Roberto, don't leave me.
Goodbye, Pilar.
Oh. Patriot! Patriot! After him! That man running down the street, after him! He is a traitor!
Our mystery drama, The Longest Night, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Bryna Rayburn. It is sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal and new sugar-free diet 7-Up. I'll be back shortly with Act 1. You're about to discover one of those little-known, out-of-the-way restaurants where the food can only be described as heavenly. It's a safe bet you've never heard of a place called Mama Pilar's. It is located in a tiny seaport village called Puerto San Jorge in an obscure Latin American country. It's a long way to travel for dinner, but be assured it's worth it. Mama Pilar's doesn't look like very much. It's small, dark, narrow, but don't let that put you off. Seated at his usual table near the door is a chubby, pleasant-looking middle-aged man named Ciriaco. Ciriaco is unable to talk, but his guitar speaks for him. Tonight, the only customers in the place are Pete and Marge Miller, and they are obviously young, North American, and newly married.
This is the finest restaurant in the entire world?
Darling, taste is the test. Now, come on, bear with me.
Pete? Whose picture is that on the wall? He's just like one of those funny admirals in a Gilbert and Sullivan operetta.
Marge, come on, don't talk like that, as if...
As if what?
Well, as if you're back home in a free country.
Well, you see that picture everywhere. Is he some local wheel?
Angel, he is the wheel.
No kidding.
He is the generalissimo, numero uno, our maximum leader.
Even so, he looks like a pig.
Marge, now you can't talk like that in public. Besides, he's the client. He's the man I was sent here to sell, and you better pray for him.
How can I pray for him? Instinctively, I hate him. You can see evil all over his face.
Well, he's a very sick man.
Oh, really?
I understand he has severe ulcers, yet eats like a pig.
Ah, now you said the word.
Here she comes.
Who?
The great lady, Mama Kala herself.
Welcome to this house.
You don't remember me, Mama Kala?
Oh, of course I remember you, Senor Miller, but, well, I thought it best not to say so.
Oh, why?
Well, I see this charming young lady as your wife. Perhaps she is not supposed to know you were here before. Now, what would you like for your dinner?
Mama Pilar, we are in your hands.
Good. I hope you are hungry.
He's quite a character.
It's amazing. This dictator, what's his name?
Oh, General Zaria.
Zaria. He actually does look like a pig.
Now, Marge, you simply cannot.
Darling, I come from Iowa. I know a hog when I see one.
You are a guest in a foreign country, and you should have enough good sense
You're
to...
always so afraid I'll say something to embarrass you.
We will have to socialize with this
Will
man.
you be proud of me? I'll chatter so charmingly no one ever will suspect that I've got a brain in my head. Oh. What is that? Oh, divine aroma.
Uh-huh. Well, you taste it.
Now, good friends, your dinner. Oh, what is that? Food, that is all. That's all. What's a song? Notes. But it's how these things are put together. Oh, thank you, Senora. You have been married long?
Well, this is our honeymoon.
And also a business trip. Oh, well, can the two be combined? You will be here a while?
My company is working on a development plan with General Zaria.
Ah, yes. The leader will make us into a great nation. One day we will all be rich. Oh, sure. He promised. Well, don't bet on it. You think he lies? At least, I think.
Marge.
No. Tell me, Senora. Who has poisoned you against our leader? The traitors? The cowards and doubters who fear to believe? Oh, you are a foreigner, so how can you understand that I love my leader because I love my country? When he fought the old government, that unholy alliance of thieves and oppressors, when he called for volunteers, I gave this man, my only son. Go, I said to Ramon, follow him. And today, my Ramon is a captain. And one day he will invite me to the capital city and present me to the leader. Forgive me, I talk too much. Well, see what the wind blew in. A beggar.
Mama Pilar.
Yes, old woman. You found me.
If you are Mama Pilar, I have a letter for you.
A letter? For me?
From your son.
From Ramon? How is he? When did you last see Ramon?
I have no time here. Take your letter.
But I want to talk to you. Oh, well. A letter. Oh, that devil, Ramon. You'd think he'd come by to visit his old mother. No. Well, he is busy. Senora, you read, I am sure. Me,
I never did learn. Would you be...
I'm sure that it must be something private between you and your son.
Oh, no, Ramon, no. Someone will have to read it to me. It would be a favor, Senora.
All right.
Well, what does he say? His letters are always so amusing.
My dearest little mother, when you receive this letter, I will be dead.
Read. Read.
Our leader has betrayed us. We thought we fought for freedom, but he has made slaves of us all. Mama, he is a madman, and now that he realizes I know him, he will kill me with his own hands. Avenge me, Mama. Avenge me. My last thoughts are of you, the loving son, Ramon.
You lie. You lie. You make up this ugly falsehood because you hate the leader.
I'm sorry.
But he...
Mama Pilar, can we help you?
Leave me.
Well, if you need anything, we'll be in the capital city.
Goodbye, Mama Pilar.
Siriaco, you see that face? The face that looks down upon us from the wall? I will kill him, Siriaco. I will kill him with my own hands. And after I have killed him, I will weep for Ramon.
Marge, darling, I'm sorry a thing like this had to happen.
Pete, I know you have a job to do in this country, but I can't take any part in it. I will not socialize with that man. I will not visit his palace. He will not be invited to my home.
But, darling...
I refuse to discuss it.
All right, dear. All right.
My leader, you are breaking your diet.
Shut up.
Yes, my leader.
What appointments have I this afternoon, Escobar?
Dr. Suarez is due here at any moment. Then the young North American engineer, Senor Peter Miller.
Is there more meat?
My leader, what will Dr. Suarez say when he sees you have broken your diet?
I am starved. Dr. Suarez.
Get rid of that slop. I gave you a diet.
No. What are you doing? I must eat. I'm not a bird. I'm a man.
You are a self-indulgent fat slob.
See, Escobar. See how he talks to me.
Dare you address our leader?
Be quiet, you obscene little rodent. You, open your shirt.
I don't care if the man is a doctor. He must have respect.
Dr. Suarez, why don't you like me?
Roll up your sleeve. I will take your blood pressure.
I tolerate you because you are the best doctor in the country. But take care now how you provoke me. Be moderate.
Exactly my prescription for you.
But I cannot live without good food, wine.
Then die.
You're not the only doctor in the nation.
Indeed not. Fetch some quack, some boot-licking flatterer. Tell him what to prescribe. I'm sure the charlatan will oblige you, and in 3 months you will be a man. Good day. I will be here tomorrow.
He's right. The dog, moderation. I'll see the North American.
Sending Senor Peter Miller.
Moderation. Moderation and abstinence. That's the way to live forever. You must keep me to that diet, Escobar. You keep me to that diet, yes.
Your Excellency?
Yes, sir.
I have here the report on all the preliminary studies.
Have you,
Yes, sir. An overall program to build hospitals, schools, bridges, aqueducts, drain swamps. We can transform the entire country.
Can you?
Yeah, now, if you'll examine these papers...
Enough.
Sir?
Be silent. Mr. Miller, do you know what you are? You, sir, are a barbarian. You enter a man's office, and with absolutely no regard for the amenities... You start slapping your business documents all over his desk.
1,000 pardons, Your Excellency.
Is it your impression that you will have me sign these documents and be on an aircraft bound for the United States within the hour?
No, sir. I'm
completely at your disposal, sir.
I understand your lovely wife is with you. How is she?
Fine.
We shall hold a reception in her honor tonight at the palace.
I'm afraid she's not feeling well. It's been a long trip. She's not a good traveler.
Oh, I am sorry. Perhaps tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Or the day after. Now, be sure to convey my warmest personal regards to your lovely bride and let us know when she will find it convenient to honor us with her presence.
Yes, sir.
Good day.
Good day, sir.
Now, what remains to be done today, Escobar?
Ramon.
Ah, yes. Ramon.
He waits in his cell.
We shall miss Ramon. He was a fine boy.
He was a traitor, a criminal.
Is there a family?
He never spoke of anyone.
Ah, these ambitious country boys think it's big ideas. And soon they grow ashamed of the old peasant mama back on the farm. Whoever she is, wherever she may be, let her believe her boy died a hero. Just say something nice on the radio, Escobar.
Yes, my friends, this brilliant young soldier, a hero of the Holy Revolution, was one of our leader's closest companions. Patriots, mourn for the man our leader called my friend Ramon.
Swine. Oh, I will avenge you, my little Ramon. I will avenge you. Oh, Siriaco, did you get the flowers? Oh, what a beautiful bouquet. Oh, thank you, Siriaco. Oh, thank you. And now, dear friend, we must practice. I will stand outside the palace gate and wait for him to come. Now, you pretend to be the pig. Now, you are leaving the palace. Start walking toward me. I call out, my leader! You hear a woman's voice. You look. You see a peasant. Her face, it shines with adoration. I hold out this bouquet, and because you are a depraved and evil man, the sight of sincerity must always amuse you. You step forward to receive my homage, my gift. I extend it eagerly, lovingly. And as you reach out to take it, my right hand withdraws the knife from inside the flowers, and I step and thrust.
Mama Pilar has prepared many a peppery plate in her lifetime. But now she is assembling the ingredients for the most pungent dish of all, revenge. The recipe will come to a boil when I return shortly with Act 2. Intense love, violent hate. These can be two sides of the very same coin. And just as a coin can be flipped, so can the human emotions. Mama Pilar worshipped General Zaria, the dictator of her country, until he murdered her only son. Now she regards him as a pig to be slaughtered. And with this object in mind, she approaches the presidential palace. In her hand is a beautiful bouquet of flowers. Hidden among the stems is a knife. Clutching the bouquet, Mama Pilar addresses the soldier who stands guard at the gate.
Senor, I beg your pardon. Can you tell me if our leader will be leaving the palace today?
Why do you want to know?
Well, I want to give him this lovely bouquet of flowers.
How do I know there is not a bomb hidden inside those rose buds? I know. You better beat it.
But why?
He's going to get very rough around here. Sweetheart, go home.
Take your hands off me.
You can't get near him. He's surrounded by his personal bodyguard.
I want to give him
Nobody ever gets within 50 yards of him. Move back. Move back, sweetheart.
I have a gift for my leader.
Run,
help you.
Don't touch me.
You'll be okay. You just fainted.
No.
Oh, now don't cry. Don't cry.
Let me alone.
You're pretty lucky, you know. We used to have a captain of the guard. He'd give orders to kill people. Don't cry. Don't cry. Why don't you just go home?
You must sign these death sentences, my leader.
How much longer must I wait for food?
Till 2:30.
It's 3/4 of an hour. What can I have, eh?
A carrot.
A carrot. Don't let me cheat. I warn you. Don't let me cheat.
Yes? It's Senor Peter Miller.
Admit him.
Let him in.
Dr. Suarez, a swine. But he's right. You must not let me cheat.
Your Excellency?
Sit.
Thank you. I have here the reports of a field.
Tell me, Mr. Miller, why doesn't your wife like me?
Oh, sir.
Now, you may ask, why should it matter to me if the spouse of some machinery peddler, which is all you really are, dislikes me?
Well, but sir...
I have feelings. I dislike being snubbed. I am entitled to courtesy. I deserve consideration. I have the right to be taken seriously as a human being. Who is your wife, anyhow?
Now, sir...
No, sir. Boss, sir. It won't do. For 2 weeks now, you have refused all my invitations.
My wife is still somewhat indisposed.
May I send her our own physician, a man of international repute?
Well, I think it's just a matter of getting, used to the climate. And
of course. You must remember to give her my regards.
Yes, sir. I have some reports here.
Reports? Business? On such a glorious day?
Well, Your Excellency, the time grows short.
Time, my dear boy, grows neither short nor long. She maintains her own steady rhythm despite all our futile efforts to hurry or delay her. Until tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And if your lovely bride is sufficiently recovered, bring her with you for cocktails. I mean tea. Good day.
Good day, sir.
How much longer, Escobar?
Exactly 37 minutes.
See to it. It must be a very large carrot.
Hello, Robert.
Hello, Pilar. Human beings. What an astonishing lot we are. After all that has happened, we meet by chance, and it's... Hello, Roberto. Hello, Pilar.
We have not met by chance, Roberto. I have come here to talk to you.
Oh? The last time you talked to me, you denounced me as an enemy of the revolution. It was here. Right here. On this very street.
Please, Roberto.
Well, you did. I lost my job, my property, most of my teeth. But that's no matter. There's not much to eat nowadays, anyhow.
Roberto.
Are you going to denounce me again, Pilar?
You have every right to make this difficult for me. Roberto, read this letter. Read it.
I don't read anymore.
It's from Ramon.
Yes?
For the love of God, Roberto, read it.
Very well, Pilar.
Read and realize it is Ramon who writes.
Yes, I see. It is Ramon who has written. And now that I have read it...
Is that all you can say?
What is there to say?
I say I am going to kill the pig.
Don't let me delay you.
Roberto, listen. I cannot do it alone. He's surrounded by his guards, but I don't have to do it alone. I can join the resistance. Roberto, please, let me join the resistance.
What have I to do with the resistance?
But you need me. The resistance needs me.
I am tired.
I am strong. I fear nobody.
And I've grown old.
And I can help the resistance. Pity me, Roberto, pity me.
Fighting resistance will meet tonight.
Oh. Thank you, Roberto.
In your cafe.
In my...
Why not? It's the safest place in the city.
Is that you, Pete?
Yeah, Marge, it's me.
Oh, what about dinner?
We'll have to send out.
Oh, I see. I'm still being punished.
Well, how can we be seen anywhere? I said you were indisposed.
Well, why'd you say that?
What else could I tell him?
The truth. I don't care for his company.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Another cozy evening at home with the Millers. Pete, Marge. Oh, you got a call from New York. Mr. Lowry.
Oh, they're getting nervous. I don't have result number 1 as yet.
You just won't understand why I refuse to see that man.
Marge, it's okay to have principles.
As long as you don't practice them.
Listen, we can really help these people. We'll drain swamps, cut down disease, raise food, create industry. Give them the strength to rise up and fight him. That's how to destroy Zaria.
Well,
Honey, I'm right. You know I'm right.
Okay.
Now you're finally doing the right thing.
You really do believe that my only mission is to keep you happy. I'm not a human being in my own right.
Oh, for crying out loud, there you go again.
What do you mean? There I go again.
Marge.
I have no thoughts, no feelings of my own. I'm even required to give up my own honeymoon because you don't have the backbone to stand up to a two-bit would-be Hitler who needs your machinery more than you need his business.
I didn't say I would.
Said enough.
Where are you going?
I'm indisposed. Roberto, will it be all right if I say a few words?
Yes.
I will tell everyone who comes here tonight. Never despair. Never give up. Can I say this at the meeting?
Of course.
You told everyone about the meeting to come here?
Yes.
Good. When will the meeting begin?
Now. I call the meeting to order. Who wishes the floor?
But where is everyone?
Here.
You lied to me. You didn't tell the others.
I couldn't tell the others.
But you said the resistance would meet tonight.
The only organized resistance to Eduardo Guillermo Carlos Vicente Zorrilla, known as the Pig, is assembled in this room. My precious Pilar, the strong and the quick are now the weak, and you stood by while that obscene swine destroyed the resistance. Now you call on it to avenge your son.
Our son.
How? I would have acknowledged him. I would have married you.
What kind of man marries a woman out of pity?
What kind of woman denounces a man out of hate? Is there any new business? Any proposals?
I propose we kill the pig.
There has already been violence enough. Other resolutions? None? Unless the chair hears to the contrary, this meeting stands adjourned. Good night, Pilar.
Good night, Roberto.
Good night, Ciriaco.
Remember, Ciriaco, the little American girl who read me the letter? He looks like a pig, she said. Just like that. A skinny little girl looks at his picture and says, pig. You know what makes her so wise, Ciriaco? She thinks. Oh, there you have it. She and Roberto, thinkers. They would say, we have a problem. What is the most effective way to kill a pig? But what do they know about killing pigs? They are thinkers, philosophers, aristocrats. Oh, no, I know how to kill a pig. Tell me, Ciriaco, tell me, do I know how to kill a pig?
There are probably many ways to kill a pig, but all of them have one basic requirement for success. It is necessary first to have your pig firmly in hand. Till now, this has been Mama Pilar's fundamental problem. However, we can depend on her to solve it when we return shortly with Act 3.
Yes, when you say 5, why say? thing you can't fool American beer drinkers about, and that's taste. When it comes to beer, they know what they like.
Yes, when you say Budweiser.
And so many millions of American beer drinkers prefer and choose the Budweiser taste that it's the largest selling beer in the history of the world. And that's a fact. Pick up a six-pack of Bud and taste why. You'll see that brewing beer right does make a difference. And that when you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Yes, when you say Budweiser, you said it all. Yes.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Sometimes a gentle rain in one place adds up to a raging torrent in another. A torrent that can uproot lives as well as trees. To remedy the things that can be remedied in a disaster, America has a unique emergency force, the American Red Cross, America's good neighbor. Red Cross is on call 24 hours a day, every day, to cope with emergencies, whether they're on the next block or a continent away. Most of the help that's given is from volunteers. The money's from volunteers, too. Volunteers like you. If you need help, join us. If you can give help, join us. The American Red Cross. Help us help people just like you.
Marge Miller is a young newlywed who is having the first fight of her marriage. And permit us to say, it's a beaut. The reason may sound familiar. She refuses to socialize with her husband's client. It acquires deeper dimension when we consider that the client also happens to be the absolute dictator of a small nation. However, here comes Mama Pilar with her own score to settle. And does she bring salvation or disaster?
No, I'm sorry, Pilar. It's out of the question. Why does the senora insist I wish to kill somebody? It's not just somebody. Zorilla. Me? Kill my leader? Oh, why else would you want to prepare a dinner for him? Oh, senora, I am growing old. Running a restaurant is too much for me. I'm looking for a job, and your husband's work, senora, requires you to entertain. You need a good cook. No, we don't entertain at all. Oh, but you should, senora. You should. That. Besides, if I let you cook a meal for old Zorilla, you'll bury a knife in him the minute he walks in. I will not. On my word of honor. Well, you spike his soup with arsenic. I will not. On my word of honor, I will do nothing to... I believe you. But Pete would never buy it. Why not? Why not? Well, let's just say he's very nervous and upset right now. Ah, then you have a problem. Such a man is no good to a woman. No. We must relax him, restore his desire for romance. Amen. Now, just suppose you said to your husband, invite the leader here for dinner. You're trying to sneak up on me. I said, just suppose. Well, what would he do? I guess he'd flip. Well, that must mean something good, eh? But, no, there is no need to tell him I will cook the dinner until everyone arrives. And then it will be too late for him to object. How simple it is. Simple and deceitful. Why do you want to prepare a meal for Zorilla? I have my reason. Sure. I want to help my husband do his job. But I can't very well have his client killed at my dining room table. Senora, this dinner will resurrect your marriage. Makes you think that my marriage needs to be... When a bride sits alone all afternoon, emptying glasses, filling ashtrays... Pilar. Oh, no, little one, don't cry.
Oh, no, I promise you, this dinner will bring you both joy and happiness. It will restore your love, revive your honeymoon. But you word of honor. You won't kill him here. My word of honor. I won't kill him anywhere.
Mr. Miller, now I understand. If my wife were as charming as yours, I would also keep her hidden.
Oh, thank you, Your Excellency.
Well, we want you to share an important event with us, Your Excellency. This is to be Marge's first home-cooked meal.
Oh, no, dear, I didn't say I would cook the dinner myself. I hired some help. We even have music. Siriaco, play for us, please.
Excellency, your eating schedule.
Oh, yes. Yes, Escobar. Thank you. My dearest Mrs. Miller, someone to cook.
Oh, certainly. Pilar!
Marge, what are you doing?
Relax. No matter what happens, remember, I love you.
Your Excellency.
Your name is Pilar?
Yes, my leader.
You are not from the city. I would know that hill country accent anywhere. Now, don't tell me. Puerto San Jorge.
I was born there, my leader.
That's the real country. Those are the real people. Now, my good Pilar, prepare for me 2 boiled eggs, 3 minutes. You tell the time?
Yes, my leader.
3 minutes, no more, no less. Tea with 1 teaspoon of skim milk. Toast. 1 dry slice thin.
But, Your Excellency,
I am on the strictest diet, my dear.
Oh, forgive me. Please, forgive me. I didn't know. Pilar, you'll serve all of us eggs, tea, and toast.
I forbid it. No, you are so sweet, sympathetic, sensitive, my dear, but I must forbid it. Pilar, you will serve your master, mistress, and Captain Escobar the prepared meal.
Yes, my leader.
But, Your Excellency, we have no right to enjoy
This is something I must learn to live with. It's for the best. What is food? Merely a fuel. And with me, it was once a passion. And now that passion is spent, it is burned out completely.
May I serve now, Senora?
Well, yes, I suppose so.
The true passion stuck, that one. Where on earth did you find her?
Oh, sir, you must never ask a lady where she finds her help. These must remain our little secret.
Oh, smell that. Oh, smell that. I have not seen beef marinated San Jorge style in years. Oh, Pilar, you are a genius.
Oh, thank you, my leader.
I don't know if I'm hungry.
I command you to eat.
But we have no right to enjoy gourmet cooking while you
My dear, this is not gourmet cooking. This is hill country cooking. Oh, I was weaned on it. That meat before you. Let me tell you how that divine fragrance and flavor is achieved. The meat is first soaked in specially spiced wine, and then marinated in a special spice and garlic sauce. The exact recipe is a secret handed down from mother to daughter.
But, Your Excellency, we have no right to do this to you. We should send it back to the kitchen.
No, I curb my passions. And so enjoy yourselves. I command you to enjoy yourselves.
My leader, your eggs, tea, and toast.
Thank you, my dear Pilar. Thank you. There you are. See? We'll see how quickly I have fueled my engine. Half a dozen bites, a couple of swallows, and I am done. You will scarcely begun. You will fritter away your lives at the table. Whereas I shall have endless hours free for work, for study, and for I don't see how just perhaps the tiniest piece of that meat could would do me any real harm. Pilar.
Yes, my leader.
Let go of her arm, Escobar.
My leader, I am only doing my duty.
You deserve a decoration. Make note of it. Now, Pilar, that piece, and that's one. Oh, fine, fine. Splendid. Oh, this is every bit the way I remember. Oh, this is the foods of the gods. The gods, Pilar.
My leader?
Special spiced wine is always served with this.
Oh, I have it here, my leader.
Yes, this is... Oh, good. I'm renewing myself. More meat, Pilar.
Where did he put it, Pete? Where?
I don't know.
Your Excellency, your diet. You shouldn't eat this much in a week, a month.
Pilar.
Yes, my leader.
My glass is empty. My plate's empty. Oh, this is heavenly. Where has the shining light been hidden? Pilar, more meat, more of everything. Oh, you work for these good people, Pilar.
Yes, my leader.
And when they go home?
Oh, well, I must find another place to cook.
No. I must eat no more. I have eaten too much. I should have eaten nothing. Take it away, Pilar. Remove everything. I must not eat no more. I must not. My doctor is right.
Your doctor lies.
Huh? What have you said?
Oh, please, my leader, I meant no harm. All my life I have prepared food. It's never hurt anyone. How can a doctor blame food?
Yes, my kind Pilar.
Oh, all the men in my family, my father, my brothers, my son, they always ate what I cooked. Not one was ever sick. My leader, this is food. This is life.
It was so good. So good.
My leader, who ever heard of doctors at the hill country? My father died at 95.
My father was drowned at 86. He was trying to swim the San Jorge River to visit the most beautiful widow in the province. Mr. Miller, Mrs. Miller.
Yes, sir.
You have made me aware of something I seem to have forgotten. My roots. I lost them. But I find them here, just in time. Yes, I shall be nourished by the food of my peasant ancestors. Escobar, dismiss that quack Dr. Suarez.
But, Your Excellency...
Mr. Miller, why have you come to this country? To make your fortune, eh? Well, your fortune is made. Create, build, construct, send me engineers, teachers, technicians, designers. Have the necessary papers ready for signature in the morning.
Your Excellency.
See? You are successful beyond your wildest dreams.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank me by giving me this woman, Pilar. Would you like to live in the palace?
Oh, my leader, what does a peasant woman know at a palace?
The kitchen. You shall rule over the kitchen.
I? Me? To cook for my leader? Oh, but I am only a plain peasant woman.
Escobar, it was a plot.
A plot, Excellency?
A clever plan to kill me. How? They would starve me to death.
Oh.
Pilar, is there more meat?
Oh, yes, my leader.
Of course, I have learned a lesson, even from my enemies. Moderation. I shall enjoy good food, but in moderation.
And what does my leader desire for his breakfast?
Do I solicit your advice on the training of troops, the administration of justice? Do not consult me. Prepare what you choose. Is there dessert?
Of course, my leader.
I'll go and help Pilar serve.
Pilar, see? I gave you my word of honor.
But you are going to kill him. You see that man? He can't help himself.
Neither can a pig. It's the nature of the animal. But Pilar, look at him. A knife, a bullet, a few grains of poison. Much too swift, much too merciful. No, this is better. I have seen swine stuffed like him. They die slowly, badly, in agony. Much better. Oh, Be happy, Senora. I have kept my word. And you have won your husband again.
Pilar, the dessert.
Oh, time once again to stuff the pig. Coming, my leader. We have a simple sweet.
A simple sweet?
Yes, senor. We call it the Mountain of San Jorge. Whipped cream, ice cream, chocolate, preserves, not fruit.
Oh, Pilar. Dear good friends, you have renewed my life.
Your slave, my leader.
Escobar, have Dr. Suarez shot at once.
There is plenty more in the kitchen, my leader.
I can hardly wait for breakfast. What shall we have, Pilar?
Oh, you said for me to surprise you.
Oh, you will serve me always, Pilar. Say you will serve me always.
You are my leader. I will serve you to the death.
As some people might say, what a way to go. But this is something the Mama Pilars of the world understand. If you can't get to a man's heart with a knife, another way, and a better way, is to get there through his stomach. I shall return shortly. You may have heard it said, the pen is mightier than the sword. This sentiment was written by a man and can be dismissed as male chauvinist propaganda. What every woman knows is that mightier than the pen or the sword is the knife and the fork. If you don't believe it, just ask Mama Pilar. Our cast included Bryna Rayburn, Marion Seldes, Jack Grimes, Leon Janney, and Gil Mack. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Sign-Off, the Sinus Medicines, Buick Motor Division, and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the exciting world of your own imagination. The lithe body, muscles rippling, seems suspended in air, twisted in its last agony. The goat legs flexed in their last spring. The beautiful boy's face transformed by a snarl of agony as the arrow bites through the back flesh to bury itself deep in the heart. This is a legendary bronze statue called the Dying Fawn. Legendary in more ways than one.
Jameson?
Miss Abbott.
Not any longer. This is my husband, David Cadelli.
How do you do, sir?
I've heard so much about you. It's my pleasure, Jameson.
Congratulations, Miss Abbott. I mean, Mrs...
Oh, time for that afterwards. Are the others here?
Mrs. Abbott and Mr. Pierce arrived this afternoon.
Are they with him now?
No, Miss Sarah. Like you, they were too late.
Oh, no. You mean he's...
It was to be expected.
When?
The statue started to bleed the night before last.
Our mystery drama, The Bleeding Statue, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars Patricia Elliott and Tony Roberts. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Give your hand to a friend. Give your heart to your love, But give your allergy contact.
Allergy is our business, too. We know pollen. And we know that any of the 12,000 quarts of air you breathe each day may contain enough pollen to make your eyes itch, make you sneeze, and drip. We also know an ingredient that helps block pollen's bad effects. It's the antihistamine most prescribed by allergy specialists. It's an ingredient in contact.
Give your hand to a friend. Give your heart to your love,
The tiny time pills in one contact keep this antihistamine working up to 12 full hours. All day, all night.
Give your allergy to contact.
Take contact only when needed, only as directed.
If you love spaghetti like I love spaghetti, I know what you're looking for. So come on, get ready for great spaghetti at the spaghetti store. If you want spaghetti, the best spaghetti, you don't have to look no more. Get your taste buds ready for great spaghetti at the spaghetti store.
Here's a riddle for you. What has 6 different kinds of spaghetti? Chicken, mushroom, meat sauce, shrimp, meatballs, or a combination of any of the above?
Oh, that's easy.
And dinner prices from $2.10 to $2.85.
Still easy.
And additional selection from ravioli to steak.
That's not a riddle, that's a cross-examination.
Come on, what's the answer?
The spaghetti store. Now, here's one for you. What has blue eyes and a craving for spaghetti?
Paul Newman's stomach.
No, me, meatball.
When you come in, bring your appetite. There's one thing you know for sure. Great spaghetti we've got, and it don't cost a lot at the spaghetti store.
Right 731 West Northwest Highway. Also Arlington and Fort Worth.
What is more mystical than a statue? The wounded fawn. No one is sure that it was not originally chiseled in marble, that the bronze we know today was not taken from a long-lost original. Where it comes from, no one knows. Where it was perhaps best known to the public at large was in its last appearance, or disappearance, on the stage of the Palace Theater as the climax of the farewell tour of Prior Abbott, the Merlin of the magicians.
Thank you. Thank you. And now, if you ladies and gentlemen will permit, my greatest illusion, the death of the wounded fawn. Park the curtains, please. There he is for the last time on any stage. I beg your pardon, dear audience, the second last time. For if I'm to make him disappear, I would have to make him reappear, and both in front of your very eyes. Observe the dying fawn. 1,440 pounds of cast bronze. I invite any member of the audience who questions this assessment of weight to join me on the stage. I only wish to know that all of you are ready to believe that this statue does have a life and volition of its own, for it is about to disappear before your very eyes. Concentrate, observe, be aware, and beware.
That was back in 1936, David.
15 years before I was born. 18 for you. How do you know about that final performance? You weren't there.
Neither was my mother. She was about 5 then.
Strange.
What?
I can't connect your grandfather. Now, what do I call him? Not what you do.
The wizard.
It's kind of corny.
Not for me. It was my mother's second marriage. I was 5 years old. Mother was about 28. He was 57. Much as I loved him and as full as life as he was, I never could call him Dad, and Grandpa would have been an insult. So Because of all the marvelous tricks he did, he became the wizard. Oh, David, you never saw anyone so young as the wizard. In body as well as in mind. That's why I can't believe...
Easy does it, baby. You've done your crying for him.
Oh, it's awful to think of him lying in that coffin. I can't believe it isn't just another illusion. And when we go down to dinner, that he won't have escaped like Houdini and be sitting waiting for us with a big smile.
I'm afraid even the wizard can't spring himself loose from this one. Oh, I'd better get my best bib and tie on to greet your relatives.
I wouldn't worry about them.
Well, I don't want to make too bad an impression. Your stepbrother's a pretty important man in my life.
Because he's president of Abbott's Tool and Machine. Oh, Pierce is just a figurehead. Now, there's only one man who could...
Come on now, Sarah.
I just can't believe he was... Oh, David, you just had to have known him to understand. He was indestructible.
Darling, he was going on 76.
But he didn't look or act more than 50.
Well, you hadn't seen him in more than 2 years.
Yes, you're right, of course, but even then, even with a heart attack and my mother dying...
You don't have to tell me, Sarah. God knows he was a giant to me. But not as a magician, as an industrialist, an inventor, an innovator. I never knew all that came from being well, it sounds crazy to put it this way, but a plain magician.
Oh, he was no plain magician. I've seen blueprints of some of his illusions, and they're more complicated than splitting the atom.
Hey, it's almost 7:30. Now, look, I've got to have at least a clean shirt.
Yes?
Excuse me, madam, but dinner will be served in half an hour.
We'll be right down, Jamie. He's always so formal.
Well, he kind of gives me the shivers. What was that bit about the statue starting to bleed?
Oh, that's a silly old legend.
You want to tell your silly young husband what?
But I think the wizard probably made it up for the act.
Well, I'm persistent if nothing else. Made up what?
Well, it's a very old statue, you know. Quite priceless.
Well, since it happens to be my hobby, I know as much about it as you. It's either fired from a mold of a Greek original in marble, or else it was commissioned by Cosimo de' Medici in the early 1600s and is possibly by Benvenuto Cellini himself. Right?
Right.
But impossible to authenticate?
That's right. But it did belong at one time or another to the de' Medicis and to some later kings of France, they say.
Whoever they are. And what exactly do they say?
That whenever the head of a household to whom it belongs is marked for death, the statue starts to bleed. I don't want to be late for dinner.
No, we won't be. I just had to see this fabulous statue.
Well, there he is.
Wow. What a setting. He's magnificent, whoever the sculptor was.
He's sad. Poor wounded god.
God?
Come closer. Look at him. He's not just a fawn. He has to be Pan himself.
Without the horns.
Ageless, deathless. The spirit of youth and life. Just like the wizard. I never thought he could really die.
Hush, baby. It's the only thing none of us can sidestep. Hey, where's this blood supposed to come from?
From the air wound, of course.
Right here? It's between the shoulders?
Oh, I suppose. I've never seen it. It's just a story, David. What is it?
It's nothing.
Let me see your hand. You touched the statue.
Look, it's just rust, darling, that's all.
Bronze doesn't rust, David. That's blood. Are you sure this is sherry, Pierce?
As advertised, and as always, nothing but the best.
It doesn't taste right somehow.
I doubt if anything will until we all find out just where we stand.
It's upsetting that he died so suddenly and unexpectedly. You don't suppose he could have left everything to Sarah? He couldn't do that to us.
Suppose he has.
I'll fight it tooth and nail. I'm his daughter.
Daughter-in-law, to be exact. I'm the last best hope. At least my father, your husband, was his son.
I hope he's recognized that in the will. And how do we handle this new husband Sarah has sprung upon us?
I've no idea. It's too bad the wizard didn't know about him before he kicked off. I doubt if he'd have reacted too well to some European opportunist who wanted to pick up a nice American girl with a lot of money in the family.
Well, he isn't here to react. It's up to us.
Pardon me, madam.
Yes, Jefferson, what is it?
Mr. and Mrs. Cavelli have returned from the garden. Dinner is served.
Thank you, Jefferson. We'll be right in.
Well, shall we start reacting? Kiss the bride and meet the groom?
Well, since we all seem to have finished dinner, shall we retire to the drawing room for coffee?
And the moment of truth.
You can clear if you wish, Jameson.
Yes, Mrs. Abbott.
Oh, thank you, Jameson. I can pour the coffee, and Pierce will serve the liqueurs. And, Jameson, you can make your arrangements about the tape, whatever they are.
Very good, madam.
Will we have to come to the study to hear it?
No, madam. There are speakers in every room in the house, and I was instructed by the late Mr. Abbott that the tape would activate itself at exactly 9 o'clock this evening.
Activate itself?
Aye, Mr. Cavelli. You see, I don't know where it is.
You never knew my father, Signor Cavelli. In his later years, he was somewhat eccentric. Will you escort me to the drawing room?
No, of course, Mrs. Abbott.
Nutty as a fruitcake, she means.
Don't talk about the wizard like that.
You know, Sarah, you weren't around him the past few years.
I saw him 2 years ago.
Well,
that was right after his heart attack, and Mother's death right on top of that. Naturally, he was knocked out. But nothing could ever keep him down for long.
That's what you think. He buried himself alive here with Jameson. None of us saw him since the day you went back.
But he wrote me in Italy.
That's more contact than Mother and I had with him. It's a pity you went back to the art school.
Don't make me feel any worse than I already do. He made me go.
I thought you were the apple of his eye.
I also happened to be a carbon copy of my mother.
And the reminder was too poignant.
You think I'd have gone back to Italy otherwise?
There seemed to have been other attractions.
You mean David? I hadn't even met him then.
I wish you never had. I'd always hoped... I think the wizard hoped, too, that you and I...
Why, Pierce, you're my older brother.
Not quite. Not by blood. Just by accident of the wizard's many marriages. Older, yes, guilty as charged. Is 16 years, or whatever it is, all that important?
Oh, come on, Pierce.
Oh, it didn't matter a hoot to the wizard, and your mother was near double that with them.
It hadn't anything to do with age or family.
Just choice. Well, all right. Oh, well, let's go in, and on our way, why don't you tell me more of the man you did choose?
I suppose we really should have had espresso for you, Signor Cavelli.
No. Plain American coffee, Mrs. Abbott.
Oh, really? I thought all Italians like...
Mrs. Abbott, I'm not Italian.
Oh? Sarah met you in Rome.
Florence.
Well, Florence. And your name is Cavelli?
Well, that's right, but Italian-American. My father and I were both born in this country.
Oh, how nice. But you lived in Italy.
Well, my father was an engineer with United States Motors. 2 years ago, while I was studying to be an engineer at MIT in Boston, the company moved him to their plant in Torino. When I graduated, I went over to join them and met Sarah.
You said in Florence?
Yes, at the Piazza della Signorina, looking at the statues.
You knew, of course, who Sarah's father was.
Well, I knew who Prior Abbott was, but I never guessed that Sarah was his daughter.
Stepdaughter. The wizard actually only had one child.
Your husband, which makes you Prior Abbott's daughter-in-law.
What time is it, David?
It's just about 9.
Well, people, the moment of truth is almost upon us. I don't know about the rest of you, but I think I could do with something to calm the nerves. Brandy for anyone?
I had my coffee. I don't know.
Why don't you, darling? I might join you.
Why not? Signor Cavelli, would you help...
Since we are family, may we make it David?
Very well, David. Help Pierce get the brandies. I'll pour the coffee.
As you wish.
Tell me, Sarah, did the wizard know about this hasty marriage of yours? It wasn't all that hasty. Except at the last moment.
You haven't answered my question.
No, the answer is no. But let me explain exactly what...
Ah, 'tis the witching hour.
Pierce.
Well, the whole thing is a bit spooky, Mother. Within seconds, all of us are going to face our futures, just where each of us is going, and all manipulated like puppets from beyond the grave. I wonder what particular trick the wizard has up his sleeve this time.
We're about to find out.
Pierce Abbott termed it the moment of truth. Are we to hear it from a disembodied voice speaking out of the past? And what will the truth mean for the four people sitting, awaiting that voice? I'll return shortly with Act 2.
When you say Budweiser,
When you say Bud, you've said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say Bud, you've gone as far as you can go to get the very best. When you say Bud, you've said the word that means you like to do it all.
when you say Bud, it means you want the beer that's got a taste that's number one. When you say Bud, you tell the world you know what makes it all the way. When you say Bud, you say you care enough to only want the king of beers. There is no other one. There's only something less, because the king of beers is leading all the rest. When you say Budweiser,
You've said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Hi, I'm Matt Rayburn, left half for the Celtics. I'd like to invite you to bring the entire family out to see the Dallas Tornadoes play the Philadelphians on May 25th at Texas Stadium. The game is sponsored by Sales and Marketing Executives of Dallas, and the money they raise will go to help young people like me. For ticket information, drop by the booth at Irving Mall or North Park, or call the Dallas Sales Executives at 747-9675. Don't forget now, Dallas Tornado soccer game at Texas Stadium, May 25th. I'll see you there.
For ticket information, call the Dallas Sales Executives at 747-9675. Soccer Spectacular, May 25th, Texas Stadium. Don't miss it.
Built in the late 20s, Abbott House is a Gothic castle perched on a promontory that juts out into the mouth of the Connecticut River. Now bathed in fitful moonlight, its flying buttresses and ornamental gables seem almost as much of an illusion as any of the great ones that made the immortal P.J. Abbott the beginnings of his fabulous fortune on the stage. An illusion of immortality fostered at this moment as his voice speaks from the grave.
Good evening, dear family. It almost seems like the good old days when I stepped out behind the footlights. Of course, in those days, I never dreamed that I would one day exercise my powers from beyond the grave. When you hear this, I shall be sealed, attested, and delivered to the hands of my attorney. It leaves everything I have completely and totally to my beloved Sarah, without let nor hindrance, now that she is 21 years of age.
Everything? How dare
Good God, what am I going to do?
No, I don't want it all.
Subject to these provisions, in the event that my daughter-in-law and her son will sign papers prepared by my attorneys waiving all right or claim to my estate, or legal moves to contest it, they will receive jointly an income yearly till their deaths of what I shall call 30 pieces of silver, the equivalent of $30,000. I further make it a condition that until the will is probated, that all three of you shall stay here at Abbott's house, nor shall any of you leave the grounds for any reason whatsoever.
He's crazy.
Don't ever say that about the wizard.
And just in case any of you question my sanity, my will is attested to by 3 objective psychiatrists who have found me sound of mind. And now for a few personal messages.
Can't someone turn that off? I don't want to hear any more.
I've arranged there's no way for you to turn this recording off. I want you all to hear. Sarah, you and your mother were the 2 bright spots in my life. Your mother was taken from me. I don't think it was an accident. But I can't prove otherwise. So the best I can do is what I have done. But please, Sarah, whatever the others do, you stay here. For here, I promise you, you are safe. If ever you need help, run to the statue and ask for it. You will find it. A last good night from the wizard, who trusts you and loves no one but you.
Insane. Absolutely mad as a hatter.
What was all that about Sarah's mother?
He's trying to suggest that we had something to do with her death.
Oh, Sarah, I hope you don't think...
Pierce, I don't want to think at all at the moment. I've been traveling for something like 16 hours and my head is splitting.
I'm a bit cross-eyed myself. If you'll excuse us, I think we'll turn in.
Yes, we're all a bit rocky.
Come on, Sarah.
Yes, David.
Will you excuse us, Mrs. Abbott?
Of course.
We're both really bushed.
Good night, Aunt Rose.
Good night. I'm not going to let him get away with it, Pierce.
Take it easy, Mother.
Not on your life. For that matter, on both our lives. That's what we're going to have to fight for, baby boy.
Oh, would you please stop that?
I'm sorry, Pierce, silly habit, but you're all I've ever had.
Oh, let's not start down that road.
No, you're quite right. That isn't what has to concern us at the moment. That little witch, that someone from nowhere, just like her mother. She's not going to take away Abbott's house and the business and everything else from us without a fight. It's ours.
Not if the wizard left the will he said he did.
Wills can be voided.
I wouldn't count on it. I'll take odds his can't be overturned. He's sure to have covered every angle.
Except one.
What's that?
The heir has got to be alive to succeed to the estate.
I think I'm too tired to get ready for bed. David?
What?
What are you staring at out the window?
That statue. It haunts me.
Why?
Oh, a lot of reasons. Sarah, I don't like this. I don't like any part of it.
What, David?
It's all so crazy. Statues that bleed and disembodied voices on hidden tape recorders. Your stepsister or whatever relation she is to you, and Pierce. The suggestion that your mother's death was... How did she die, darling?
Well, I was away, so I only know what I was told. The wizard had had a heart attack, and she'd been nursing him. She came downstairs and told them that she wanted a breath of air, and she went out...
Wait a minute. Who is them?
Them... Pierce and Rose and Jameson.
Where were they?
Rose and Pierce were in the drawing room. Jameson was in the pantry.
And none of them followed your mother?
Followed her?
How did she die?
I guess she had a sort of fainting spell. And she fell and hit her head somewhere on the statue. And while she was unconscious, she drowned in that little pool behind the statue.
You're sure of that?
Well, what else could have happened? There was a coroner's inquest, a lot of newspaper stories, of course.
Then what do you make of your father's obvious accusation that they were responsible?
I don't know. Maybe they're right. That the wizard was never really himself again. Oh, David, I wish you could have known him. He was marvelous. The most marvelous person I ever knew. Before you.
Holy smoke.
What is it?
The statue, it isn't there anymore. It's gone.
What do you mean?
Where?
Wait a minute. A cloud just drifted across the moon. As soon as it clears, you'll see.
But it couldn't just disappear.
But it did. There's nothing there but the empty pedestal. And the grotto and that little pool rippling in the moonlight. Wait a minute. That cloud's just about to clear and we'll... I don't believe it.
Well, you'll have to. There it is, large as life.
But it wasn't there a moment ago.
Oh, darling, there must have been a tree branch in the way. How could it disappear? Oh, David, I'm just wrung out. I've got to go to bed. I just want to sleep away today. Do you mind if I use the bathroom first, dear?
Of course, darling. I want to run downstairs for a moment anyway.
Where are you going?
I won't be a minute. I left something in the car. I want to get it.
Oh, thank you for bringing me upstairs, Pierce.
That's all right.
What are we going to do about Sarah?
What do you mean?
Oh, now, don't play games with me. Are we just going to sit still for her taking over everything?
What else can we do?
We didn't when we thought it was going to be her mother.
Look, we got away with it once. We're not going to get away with it again.
We're going to have to. And within the next few days if we're going to.
Not here.
We don't have any chance anywhere else. The girl has got to die.
What good would that do us? The estate would go to her husband.
Her husband? Oh, now that's very interesting, Pierce. This young upstart, ambitious, carefully marrying a young girl without her family's knowledge, obviously anxious to make profit out of it.
What do you have in mind, Mother?
Why wouldn't he be just as anxious to get rid of Sarah as we are, Pierce?
I would never be able to get away with convincing anyone of that. No, there's only one way.
How?
Now that Grandfather's, and we know the secret of the statue, I can fix it so it will seem to kill them.
Both of them? Was that necessary?
It's the only way.
There's nothing there now. Heaven knows it seems solid enough. I wonder... Who is that?
It's Jameson, sir. Miss Sarah was asking for you.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll be right in. Jameson.
Yes, sir?
You've been with the family a long time.
With Mr. Abbott, I was, sir. Nearly 55 years. I started out with him as an assistant in his magic days.
He was about the grand illusionist of all time, I guess.
No one better, sir. He was beyond peer.
And this statue was one of his better ones, huh?
Before it got cemented into place here at Abbott House, that's nearly 40 years ago.
But he used to make it disappear right on stage, didn't he?
Well, in a manner of speaking.
Well, what does that mean?
An illusion, don't you see? It never moved. It took 11 tons of mirrors and 14 helpers to make it happen. That was the old days. They won't come again. Magic's all gone.
Well, what about the rigmarole of the statue bleeding?
That's something else again, sir. That's way out of the past.
Well, I don't know. I thought I found blood by the arrow wound earlier tonight. It's dry now. It's been wiped off.
I don't know by whom, sir. What shall I tell Miss Sarah, sir?
You don't have to tell her anything. I'll go in with you.
When you're tired, fancy plays strange tricks, Mr. Cavelli. I was thinking of making a toddy for Miss Sarah, if she'd like it. There's nothing better for putting you off to sleep.
I'm sure I don't have to ask her. She'd love it.
And yourself, sir?
No, I'll skip the hot drink.
Maybe you'd like to join me in a nightcap, David.
Where did you spring from? The wall?
No, as a matter of fact, I was headed for the pantry here to ask Jameson to make one of his famous toddies for Mother.
And for you, Mr. Abbott?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm a cigar freak. Oh, Jameson, when you've made the drinks, I'll take them up.
Oh, that's all right, sir. I'm happy to be of service. I'll bring them up when they're ready.
Want to join me in a nightcap while we're waiting, David?
Okay. Just a quickie, though. Then I'll walk you upstairs.
took the rest of the powder out of the sleeping pills for Jane.
It's right here, Pierce, but how are you going...
Sheer luck. Jameson is making a hot toddy for both of you girls. With this, I can fix Sarah so she'll never wake up.
We can't get away with it.
Leave it to me. David and I just had a good night drink. I only had some chloral hydrate to slip in that. But he's going to wake up with a large headache tomorrow.
Dare we risk it?
We have no choice, Mother. We've got to go for broke. If we don't, as you well know, I'm just selfish enough to make sure that everyone else goes before me.
David? Oh, thank the Lord it's you. Come here, darling. Quickly.
Sarah. Sorry. I don't know. I gotta get to bed. Where is it?
I just looked out the window again, and you're right. The statue just isn't there. It's completely disappeared.
Statue? Something about statue. Darling, I'm sorry.
What's the matter, David?
I'm down one drink. I guess I've one drink too many. I'm blind drunk.
Oh, I was the one who was sleeping before. Now I'm wide awake, and you're...
Jameson, bring you a nice hot toddy. Put you to sleep, like me.
David? No, David. Don't leave me alone. I'm scared. David? David, I don't know what I'm scared of, but I'm scared.
And well, she should be scared. For with David's collapse, the forces of evil, real and unreal, swarm about Sarah, threatening her very life. Perhaps most terrifying of all is the absence of the statue. For with it gone, and David drugged in sleep, where can she run to for sanctuary? I'll return shortly with Act 3.
Oh, somebody's been drinking my sugar-free diet 7-Up, and it's all gone.
Oh, actually, I saved a little.
Oh, a bear!
Hiya, Goldie. What's brewing?
That's Miss Goldilocks to you.
Oh, come on, kid. You mean you don't remember me? The cottage, the 3 chairs, the porridge?
Baby bear!
In the fur. Been a long time, Goldie.
But baby bear...
Just call me BB.
You drank all the sugar-free diet 7-Up, and I have to conduct another diet drink taste test today.
Well, yeah, I saw the sign on the door, a professional taste tester, huh?
But how can I conduct my taste test now?
Why bother? I tried those other diet drinks, too. You'll notice there's still plenty of them around. Why not ask me?
Well, okay, BB. Tell me, why did you drink all the sugar-free diet 7-Up?
I like the taste. Light, fresh, natural, sugar-free diet 7-Up is definitely unbearably delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Where the roads unwind with travelers, with friends, with family, with people going places, seeing all there is to see. Where the ride is always sure and smooth, you'll find a trusted friend you've always known. It's Firestone. Firestone, Firestone, Firestone.
It's a super sale on a super tire, the Strato Streak Super Belt. Your Firestone sale headquarters has the Strato Streak Super Belt for as little as $20.95. Yes, $20.95 plus a $1.88 federal excise tax exchange for the B78 13-size black wall. What a sale. Money stretching prices on a mileage stretching tire. Low sale prices on other sizes and white walls, too. This sale won't last forever, so hurry into Firestone. Convenient terms available. Firestone for great prices on great tires.
Those scudding clouds that alternately mask and unmask the moon play a ghostly light across the long, curving staircase as Pierce Abbott descends it. The phial of lethal powder spilled from the sleeping pills hidden in his hand. Silently, he crosses to the swinging door of the pantry, edging it open slowly, disappointed to find Jamie facing him.
Yes, Mr. Abbott.
Oh, just wondering if the drinks were ready to take up.
Oh, just have to add the hot water. Anything I can do for you, sir?
Oh, yes,
Excuse my back, sir.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Just getting the kettle?
That's fine, that's fine. What did you say before?
I wondered what brought you down again, sir.
Oh, yes.
Anything I can help you with?
No, I thought perhaps I might have left my lighter down.
Ah, indeed you did. I put it right here on the tray with a glass for your mother.
Yes, thanks. Jameson, it's all right. I might as well take this tray up with me,
If you wish, sir.
All set, Mother. Here you are.
What is it?
One of Jameson's nice, uncomplicated toddies mixed by his own hand. As of this moment, he's delivering the same to Sarah.
The same?
He couldn't testify otherwise. His back was turned when I salted it.
Is my barbiturate?
Enough to kill a gorilla.
We can't get away with drowning them the way we did her mother.
We won't even try to. No, they'll die quite differently.
How?
I've been experimenting with the statue, and I've made a discovery. It moves on hinges and counterweights and escapes into the pool. Take those hinge pins out, reduce the counterweights, and it will collapse and crush anything in the way of its fall.
The secret room would be exposed.
No, there's a false base which slides into place. The whole thing will seem nothing but a tragic accident. Another chapter to add to its legend.
When will you get them there?
Tonight, when everyone's asleep. Sarah may be already. David is wait, but I can drag them through the secret tunnel. It's mostly downhill. Hello, drink a toddy, go to sleep, and leave this to me.
I won't draw an easy breath all night.
By tomorrow, you'll be able to. We both will.
Oh, it's you, Jamie.
I thought you might like a little toddy before you turn in, Miss Sarah.
The Scottish panacea?
Not exactly, but it does make for a long, peaceful sleep.
I could use that tonight.
Your new husband didn't want any.
No, he's sound asleep already. Well, see you tomorrow, Jamie.
You'd better, or the old wizard would never forgive me.
I only wish he were here.
So do I, Miss Sarah. But don't you worry. Wherever he is, he's looking out for you. Turn the key in the door after I leave. You'll sleep sounder.
Maybe I'll do that. Good night, Jamie.
Good night, Miss Sarah.
All locked up, Jamie.
Hi, Mr. Abbott.
And off to bed, then.
Hey, are you off yourself?
Hardly keep my eyes open. You've given Miss Abbott her drink, all right?
Oh, yes.
Did I what?
Did you get your mother's to her?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Well, this is where I leave you.
Up the wooden staircase?
My nightly climb.
Sleep sound, Jamie. Sorry, Jamie, old boy. I just have to make sure.
Who is it?
Don't turn on that.
Pierce, what are you doing with that pillow?
What are you doing awake?
Keep away from me. Pierce, keep away. I'll scream.
Won't do you any good. There's no one to hear.
David!
You might as well try to waken the dead.
Oh, no. He's not. He's not.
Not yet, just knocked out, but he will be.
You must be crazy.
Only desperate. It's the same thing.
Keep away from me. Keep away.
Sorry, Sarah. I have to.
Help me. Someone. Help me. Wizard. Help me. Save me. You said to come to the statue. Help me.
There's no one to help you anymore, Sarah. No one.
It's moving. Help.
You're safe, Sarah. Come quickly down into the vault.
Wizard. You're alive.
Quickly.
Damn you, grandfather. Can't you stay decently dead?
You son, can't you stay deep?
I'll make you stay this time. I've gone too far to hang back.
I warn you, I won't hesitate to use the gun.
Then don't, or it will be too late.
Pierce! No,
No, I won't let you trick me again. The last trick is going to be mine.
Wizard, look out! The statue!
Too late! We all go together!
There isn't anything I can do, Sarah. I can't budge it. Oh, my head.
Are you all right, darling?
I'm still woozy and my head is splitting, but... Oh, here comes Jameson.
Jamie, did you get the police?
Hi, Miss Sarah. They're on their way on an ambulance.
How's Mrs. Abbott?
I'm afraid she's...
Oh, poor Rose.
I wouldn't spare her much sympathy. She only got the drink that was meant for you. Thanks to Jamie.
I switched them. Is Mr. Abbott?
He's alive. Pierce is... Sarah.
Yes, Wizard? I'm here.
I have a lot. Apologies to make.
Don't worry about that now. Police, doctors, they're coming.
Too late.
No. Look, David, Jamie, if all three of us try, we can...
You couldn't move it an inch. I know it well, this old statue. Once I could move it with the flick of my hand. Make it appear, disappear. The magic's gone. This arrow, the wrong end, buried as deep in me as in the old wounded fawn. Things I have to tell you.
It's better not to try to talk.
Let him say he wants to.
Jamie, will you tell the most? Jamie, tell him about the last 2 years.
After your mother died, Miss Sarah, he was in a bad way. The heart mended physically, but it was still broken. And then he began to think and brood on it. And he was sure that Mr. Pierce or Mrs. Abbott had killed her.
But why would they want to...
If your father had died, honey, all the money would have gone to your mother.
But Mother, or me for that matter, we've been willing to share.
Well, there was no way you could prove them responsible for Sarah's mother's death?
None.
And you dreamed up this crazy masquerade just to bring them out in the open?
No, I tell them, Jamie.
A few months ago, Mr. Abbott discovered he had a carcinoma. The prognosis was very bad.
So, since I was scheduled to die, I decided to advance the date a little.
He was worried about you, Miss Sarah, and he wanted to protect you. He was afraid of Mrs. Abbott and Mr. Pierce after what happened to your mother. In this house, from his secret vault, there's a system of reflecting mirrors that lets you see what's happening in any room, and equipment to hear. He knew he could protect you here and maybe unmask Mr. Pierce and his mother.
Oh, Wizard, I didn't need your money.
I couldn't have left it to them.
Rest, dear. Please. The ambulance will be here soon.
Too late. For me, child. This is my real farewell appearance.
Wizard, please.
Sing no sad songs for me. I had it all. I leave it all. And I'm glad that in the final grand illusion, my old partner shares it. Funny, the day before you came, I cut my hand on this arrow buried in my chest.
It was blood.
Signaling the death of the head of the house. Now, Sarah, this statue will never bleed again. We die together, he and I. Now watch. I am about to disappear before your very eyes. Concentrate. Observe. Be aware. And
The rest is silence.
The statue, of course, did not disappear. Restored, it still occupies the grotto. Abbott House is a curiosity. Its periscope mirror system, its intricate sound wiring, its secret passages and subterranean vault, a mecca for tourists. And the statue doesn't bleed. Enough blood has been let, one hopes, to still the legend forever. I'll be back shortly.
Great taste in the morning. Kellogg's has that wholesome taste to get you up and grinning.
This is Jerry Coffer for Kellogg's Special K. You know, for years we've been talking about the Special K breakfast, a great way to start the day if you have a weight problem. You may have seen or heard our latest commercials, which symbolize the problem of being a few pounds overweight by using this ball and chain. That's the sound effect. But so many people have come to know the Special K breakfast that can help solve weight problems, they sometimes forget that Special K is America's favorite high-protein cereal. It has 8 essential vitamins and iron, and so delicious that lots of folks, kids as well as adults, eat Special K just for the sheer good taste of it. So we don't want you to think that you have to wear a ball and chain to eat Special K. All you need is an appreciation for the finer things of life, a 1-ounce bowl of Special K, 4 ounces of skim milk, tomato juice, coffee, and maybe a little sugar. The Special K breakfast can help you lose weight all by itself, but it really is a good start.
I'd like to clear up a little misconception, and to do it, I'm going to take you through a Buick dealership. See, a lot of people are considering the purchase of a small car, but they might not consider coming to a Buick dealer to get it. That's a mistake, because right here are all kinds of small cars, imported and domestic, with 4, 6, and 8-cylinder engines, with 2, 3, or 4 doors. Here's our biggest small car, the mid-size Century. It's pretty luxurious in there, but the size makes it practical, too. This one's our next smallest, Buick Apollo. Under this hood, there's a 6. Pretty handy these days. Yet because Apollo is a Buick, it has qualities you don't often find in cars this size. And this little rascal is Opel, 4 cylinders, and the best-selling car in Germany. You'll know why when you drive it. Well, there you have it. An impressive small car variety under one roof. At your Buick Opel dealer.
On sober reflection, one can't be too sure, of course, that a legend will die. They tend to persist. But since the head of the Abbott household is now Sarah, and she has at least 50 years ahead of her, few of us will be around to find out. Still, circa 2025, if you have nothing better to do, you might visit Abbott House. Our cast included Patricia Elliott, Tony Roberts, Grace Matthews, Kurt Benson, and Paul Hecht. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal, New Sugar-Free Diet 7-Up, and Contact, the 12-hour allergy capsule. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. Marshall. Once again, it's time for that journey through the world's most mysterious landscape, the complex mind of a human being. What does the mirror show you? Does the mirror know more than appears on the surface? How deeply can it probe? Consider a lady named Helen Stewart.
Fred! Fred!
What is it? Tell me, what is it?
Look!
Look at what?
Look at the mirror.
What about the mirror?
Well, can't you see? I'm not in it. I'm not in the mirror. I've lost my reflection. Fred, do you know what this means?
Please, Helen.
It means I no longer exist. It means I've disappeared.
Our mystery drama, Mirror for Murder, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Celeste Holm. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser, and by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal. I'll be back shortly with Act One. Future historians will look back on our times, and they will, of course, give them a name. It's fairly safe to assume that our era will probably be called the Age of Women. Women are no longer content merely to cook and clean and care for a man. Some women are quite vocal about it. However, these are not the ones to cause us concern. Men should worry about those quiet ones. For instance, today it's breakfast as usual at the home of Fred and Helen Stewart. This means that, although it's not even 8 o'clock, Fred has already been on the phone for the better part of an hour. But on this particular morning, quiet, uncomplaining Helen Stewart does something shocking. She suddenly reaches over and, for no apparent reason, disconnects the telephone.
Helen, why? Why did you do that? Why did you cut me off?
I don't know.
But Helen, you knew that I was talking to Senator Warren. You cut us off.
Senator Warren is an old drunk.
James J. Warren is the majority leader.
Oh, yes, he is. He certainly is. Senator Warren is the majority leader because he makes a great many major leads, especially with his hands under the table when we're out to dinner.
What are you talking about?
You know, 15 years ago, if I'd told you that, you'd have punched the senator in the nose. Now you look at me and say, what are you talking about?
Helen. Oh, Jim. Yeah, cut off, I guess. Certainly, Jim, I'll hold on. Helen, I simply have to talk to the senator before he leaves.
You might want to talk to me before I leave, too.
Now, what is that supposed to mean?
Just what it sounds like.
Look, we can't afford an argument just before I go...
When can we afford it?
Darling, be sensible. The committee's considering the entire budget. You know what's at stake.
Of course.
And, Jim, yeah, great. Tonight? No trouble at all. I'll be there. You bet. Thanks, Jim. Bye.
Am I to assume from that conversation that you won't be home to dinner tonight either?
Senator Warren wants me to meet with the Finance Committee people for dinner.
I see.
Well, they have to be brief.
Naturally.
I'll try to cut it as short as I can.
We have tickets for the opera tonight. Remember?
Oh. Well, look, why don't you go, and I could pick you up after.
If I'm going to go to places alone, I don't have to be married.
Oh, Helen, just as soon as all this pressure is off...
Fred, you're having so much trouble trying to fit me into your schedule. What are you doing New Year's Eve?
I resent that.
Do you?
If you didn't want me to go into politics, you should have said so.
I don't recall that you ever asked me.
Darling, this is the big break. Jim Warren is letting me write this bill. It'll be known as the Stewart Act. It'll revolutionize the concept of education throughout the state. From here, I can run for national office. First the House, then the Senate.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, write me a letter. Let me know how you make out.
Well, I want you to help me.
Help you? How?
Well, just don't add
to your problems. Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
Just be a nice, quiet, obedient little lady. Is that what you mean?
Oh, Helen, you can twist the meaning of everything
Fred,
you say.
I'm having a problem.
Oh, good Lord. It's 8:30.
Fred, we have to talk about it.
Yes, but does it have to be this minute?
Well, sometimes you have to sit here and just look at me and talk to me and concentrate on me as if I were a human being worthy of your time and your attention.
Helen, you know that I love you.
Yeah, but that's not enough. You see, something's happening to me, and I'm frightened.
What could be happening?
I'm scared. I feel as if I'm disappearing.
Disappearing?
Yes, disappearing, as if I'm fading away, fading out.
What does that mean?
As if I've become nothing, nobody.
Oh, but
That's what. I can prove it. There are times, many times, more and more times lately, when I look into a mirror and I sort of become hazy, blurry, and then my image, my reflection, isn't there. It's just gone.
Helen.
I'm gone.
Look, you've got to see Dr. Gordon.
Why do you keep sending me to other men, Fred? I know what's happening. I am disappearing. I'm fading out of your life.
Now, that is not true. I need you more than ever.
For what?
We'll talk about it tonight.
But you won't be here tonight.
Tomorrow morning.
I may not be here tomorrow morning.
What?
I may be gone.
Gone? Gone where?
I don't know. Where do people go when they disappear? I'll answer it. Hello? Just a moment. It's the senator's office. Should I tell him you're busy and you'll call back?
How can I tell him I'm busy? Give me the phone.
I see.
Hello? Yes, I'll hold on. Helen,
Goodbye, Fred.
Where are you going?
Where am I going? Fred, look in the mirror. Just look, Fred.
In just a minute. Hello? Jim? Yeah. Oh, I've got all the figures, everything we need.
Look in the mirror, Fred. I've disappeared.
No, Jim, we've got solid proof.
Where did I go, Fred? Where did I go? Please, Fred, tell me what happened to me.
Jim, the opposition will simply have to throw in the towel. Nobody can afford to vote against this bill.
Fred, where did I go?
You can control every single dollar.
Fred, I'm going to have to find myself.
The voters know whom to thank for it.
Goodbye, Fred. Goodbye.
Jim, the newspapers will eat it up. How can we possibly lose?
The key to 247, please.
Here you are, Miss Craig. How did you enjoy the skiing this morning?
Fine, thank you.
Planning to stay with us for a while?
Well,
I know it's quiet here. We're off the beaten tourist path.
I'll see.
Oh, you have a message, Miss Craig.
A message? That's impossible.
Impossible?
Well, nobody... I don't see how anybody...
A gentleman asked for you.
For me?
Yes, for Miss Helen Craig. That's you, isn't it?
Yes.
He said to tell you that he'd be waiting for you in the coffee shop.
Oh, well, thank you.
Hello, Helen.
How did you know my name is Helen?
Well, I've been waiting for you the past couple of days. I didn't know for sure when you'd show, what name you'd use. So I sneaked a peek at the register. Helen Craig, huh? Well, that's as good a name as any.
What do you mean you're waiting for me? I don't know you.
Of course not. Let me introduce myself. Mike Perry.
Please tell me what this is about, Mr. Perry.
You know, I never believed the contact would be a dame. This woman's lip thing, it's running wild. Although, a dame is smart, but who'd figure a dame?
You obviously have me mistaken for someone else.
There's no mistake. You know it, and I know it. But you're playing it right. Cool, okay. We're ready to deal.
Once again, Mr. Perry, there seems to be some mistake.
Yeah. See, we gotta set up a meet between you and my boss. He's due in tomorrow. He's got the dough and the details.
Mr. Perry, please, excuse me.
Sure. I may want to talk to you later. You'll be around, won't you?
Mr. Perry, please, whoever you are, do be good enough to excuse me. Just a minute. Who is it?
Room service.
Well, I'm afraid there's a mistake. I mean, I didn't order
Compliments
anything.
to the house.
Oh.
Let me set this down.
Well, thank you.
My name's Farrell.
Yes?
I've been assigned as your contact.
My what?
Your contact.
What's going on?
It's safe to talk. I've checked the room out. There aren't any bugs.
I don't understand.
So you're Rose Temple.
I'm not any Rose Temple. You're mistaken. I'm Helen Craig.
Naturally, you wouldn't use your real name, but everybody in the department knows about you, and I consider it a privilege to work with you.
Please, let me explain. A mistake has
You're
been...
very unorthodox, but you do get results.
Well, what makes you think
Simple. We knew you'd be contacted by Mike Perry as soon as you got here. I've had Mike under surveillance every minute. Now, Rose...
I'm not Rose.
You're absolutely right. You'll have to concentrate on your new identity. I'll call you Helen. How did you do it?
How did I do what?
Helen, I'm on your side. How did you get them to think I had all those diamonds?
Mr. Farrell, there's something very wrong here.
Okay. There's certain things I'm not required to know. I was just curious.
Mr. Farrell.
Did Mike Perry set up the meeting yet?
Mr. Farrell.
Why didn't you call me Jerry?
You're making a big mistake.
You never relax, do you? Well, that's probably the secret of your success.
I simply don't know why you both think...
You'll have to tip us off as to where the rendezvous is so we can move in and make the arrest.
Oh, sure, I'll do that. Look, what's that? What? Look!
Look at what?
The mirror.
What about the mirror?
I'm...
Are you okay?
Oh, yes! I'm fine! I'm all right!
Yeah, well, why don't you get some rest, huh? I'll see you later.
Operator, is there a doctor nearby?
Well, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just an ordinary old country doctor, you know.
What do you think about the mirror? I mean, the mirror, Dr. Bellows.
Now, tell me again. Back at home, you disappeared from the mirror.
Right.
It could be a symbol of how unimportant you think you've become to your husband.
I know that. That's why I ran away. I thought I could find myself.
Yes, I see. Who are you, really?
Oh, I don't want anyone to know.
Well, your husband is probably worried.
How worried? Worried enough to tell the police to look for me?
Well, perhaps, but let's stay with your problem. You ran away to find yourself, and a few minutes ago you looked in the mirror and you saw your image again. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, but...
But what?
The image I saw. Well, I've never seen such an image of myself before. I mean, I'm filled with brightness, a kind of glow.
Well, look in the mirror again.
Yes. Yes, it's the same image. It almost hurts my eyes to look. I mean, what does that mean?
If that's how you see yourself, then it could mean you've suddenly become important again. I mean, important to someone.
Or that I'm having another hallucination.
What kind?
Doctor, I'm hallucinating. I must be. That I'm some sort of an agent.
An agent?
A double agent.
What do you mean?
That I'm some sort of secret operative, and I'm posing as a member of some powerful gang. I mean, I realize this must sound...
No, that's all right. It's all right. Keep talking.
Seems I'm here to contact some powerful racketeer, at which time there will be an arrest or a shootout or whatever happens at such a meeting. I don't know. I haven't hallucinated that far yet.
And what form does all this take?
Well, I've been approached by a man who has identified himself as a member of some gang. And then I've been contacted by someone who's evidently my colleague in a law enforcement agency.
Well, does all this happen at night? I mean, could these be dreams?
No, I mean, it happened less than an hour ago. I actually spoke to the gangster in the coffee shop and to the government agent in my room.
Well, then, why do you say these are hallucinations?
Well, how could they possibly be anything else?
What we're up against here is reality. We have witnessed a scene between Helen and Mr. Perry, and between Helen and Mr. Farrell. It all sounded real. But Helen is a troubled lady, and either way, it's a troubled situation. If it's a fantasy, that's one kind of trouble. If it should happen to be real, it's another kind of trouble. However it goes, I'll be back with some answers when I return shortly with Act 2. There comes a time in the lives of many women when they feel unwanted, neglected. Gone is purpose, identity. And so they suddenly go out to search for that all-important identity. Such a woman is Helen Stewart, wife of a rising politician. We find her in a remote mountain resort where it seems that 2 other men have found her as well, a racketeer and a police agent, each of whom thinks she is there for a rendezvous. Or is all this in her mind? Is there really a racketeer? Is there really a police agent?
Are you saying, Dr. Bellows, that I'm not hallucinating? You mean that I've actually been approached?
No, but we must consider every possibility.
Well, then, what should I do?
Well, in addition to everything else, Miss,
Craig.
Well, if you want to use that name, it's all right with me, but you really should tell me who you are.
No.
Well, now I can't treat you if you don't trust me.
Doctor, you might feel called upon to get in touch with my husband, and I just couldn't stand that.
But why? If you should be in trouble psychologically, wouldn't you want him to?
No. I left him so I could do something for myself. I'm not going to run back to him at the first sign of trouble. I mean, whatever that trouble is.
Well, we must find out what the trouble is. First, we must make sure that you are hallucinating.
How?
Well, now let me see. You've been approached by 2 men. What are their names?
Well, the one who seems to be the gangster calls himself Mike Perry. The other one, Jerry Farrell, claims to be a police agent. He works here as a bellman.
Mm-hmm.
But how is this...
Let's find out who they really are.
How?
Frank Winslow, who owns the place, is a close friend. I can get the information from him.
Doctor, why am I doing this? I mean, those 2 men, I've never seen them before in my life. Why should I...
You've probably seen them before.
Where?
Oh, in the movies, or at least men who resemble them, and you've projected yourself into a situation.
What if I keep hallucinating? What if they approach me again?
If they do, it's because you want them to. They help to support your need or importance.
But I can't go through life What am I going to do?
Now, look, you've already started to do the right thing. You're trying to come to grips with the problem. Now, remember, whatever you do, don't panic. Don't waste your energy. Just be quiet, calm, rational, and everything will be all right.
How come you ain't on the slopes?
I'd rather sit here and read.
Mind if I join you? Buy you a drink?
I don't drink.
Well, let's talk anyhow.
About what, Mr...
Perry. As if you don't remember.
Okay. We'll talk, Mr. Perry.
The big fella. I'm supposed to tell you this. He ain't gonna be here till day after tomorrow. Now, don't blow your stack.
Believe me, I had no intention.
Oh, you don't kid me, baby. You don't give nothing away. But you must be doing a burn.
Really? Why?
Because every day you hold that ice, the hotter it gets and the more it can melt.
Oh?
You were told you could have the deal tomorrow, okay. You showed up. But where's the big fella?
I don't know. Where?
His daughter's getting married tomorrow. So he can't make it.
Well, that sounds reasonable enough.
Well, that's no way to do business. And you know it. So I was thinking, why not do business with me?
With you?
Look, the big fella can't last much longer anyhow. I mean, what if I can raise by tomorrow morning half of what the big fella offered? It's less, but you got this one advantage.
Yeah?
With me, you got a deal. Cash on the line. You're out. You're clean. What do you say?
Let me think about it.
I didn't know you could skate.
Well, what are you doing here, Mr.
Farrell, keep an eye on you. You were observed in the lounge talking with our friend, Mr. Perry.
Oh, so?
So, let's sit down. Nice, quiet little table. I'll buy you some hot chocolate, and you can tell me about it.
Well, I'd rather skate if you don't mind. I need the exercise.
That conversation with Perry.
Oh, the scheduled meeting can't take place tomorrow.
Why not?
The big fella's daughter is getting married.
What's the new date?
Day after.
I don't like it. Every extra hour makes it more dangerous for you.
Well, there was an alternate suggestion.
Yeah?
I could deal directly with Perry.
With Perry?
He's willing to double-cross the big fella.
Oh, so Perry figures to move against his boss. That makes it very rough for you.
Why?
Did you agree to deal with him?
I'm thinking it over, supposedly.
Bad. He's given himself away as soon as he realizes you're expendable.
What can happen?
He'll set up a meeting place. You show up with the diamonds. You get killed.
But
That's why I have to be there. We have to get Perry first.
Oh.
Of course, this blows the objective the office had set up to catch the big fella, but we have to save your life, huh? All right, where are the diamonds?
The diamonds?
Never mind. It's better if I don't know.
But there are no...
So Perry has decided to make his move against the big fella at last, huh? I'll have to check back and find out how we're supposed to play this. Meanwhile, you have a weapon I don't know about?
A weapon?
Yeah. Word is that you never carry a gun. I checked out your luggage, but I can't believe you don't have something on you somewhere. Do you have a gun?
No.
You know, you're too good to be true.
What does that mean?
You're the most unlikely agent I've ever met.
Well, maybe that's because I'm not
No, you are. And now I know how you made your reputation. It's that air of innocence, naivete. And that's your strength, your armor. Well, you can get away with that against the upper crust criminals.
The what?
The upper crust, the gentlemen. The con artists, the flim-flammers, those are the guys you've tangled with. Bust one of those guys, they come along quietly. But now, you're up against killers. Make sure I'm always close to you. Don't make a move unless you tell me.
Hello?
This is Dr. Bellows. How do you feel?
Oh, I've been hallucinating. I think I've just had a discussion with both of those men.
The racketeer and the government agent?
Yes, Doctor.
Mm-hmm. And how did it go?
Frightening, as it seems so real.
Are you near a mirror?
Yes?
Look at yourself.
All right.
What is it?
I've never seen myself in such clear outline, such sharp detail. I mean, such brilliant colors.
See, you're feeding on your fantasies.
I am?
These men you're talking to.
Yes?
Well, I had to go on the basis that anything can be possible until proved otherwise.
Doctor, do you mean they can be real?
Well, now I don't believe it because I checked up on them. The so-called gangster.
Mike Parry.
Yes. He's a partner in an export-import company in Philadelphia, a most reputable firm. And the hotel employee...
Mr. Farrell.
He's only been working there for a few weeks, but he has excellent references, recommendations from employers that extend back over 15 years.
I see.
So now, we can definitely dismiss these as fantasies. Hallucinations, call them what you will.
Yes, I can't tell you how relieved I am, Doctor. The situation was beginning to take a dangerous turn.
Well, perhaps you'd better come over here. I'll give you some medication that will let you get some rest. You see, you have to start building yourself up now.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll be there right away. Why, Doctor? Why are they so real?
Because, you see, you need them. You need them to restore yourself. Can't you see what's happened?
What?
Well, you felt as if you had been, wiped out. So you retreated into fantasy to restore yourself.
Yes.
Well, that's all right for a start, but you will have to accept reality, you know.
Huh?
Find yourself, your identity in the real world.
Yes, I know.
Go back to your husband.
Oh, I'm not sure I want to.
Do you love him?
Yes.
And does he love you?
Well, I think so, but what good is love if all it does is to make two people unhappy?
If you love each other, you'll find a way to live together without destroying either one of you.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, excuse me. Someone's come into my waiting room. I'll be back in just a minute.
Go back to him? Go back to Fred? Oh, maybe if we could sit down and try to understand. Doctor? Dr. Bellows! What happened? Doctor!
Hi.
Mr. Perry, what have you done?
What does it look like? I just knocked off this quack here. That's what I done.
Why, Dr. Bellows.
Hey, what's with you, kid? You like to talk to stiffs?
You killed him? You've killed Dr. Bellows.
Hey. Catch on quick.
But why?
Why? Because he's working with the cops, that's why.
Working with the cops?
Sure. He's been asking questions, trying to get a make on me. You know what this means, don't you?
It means he's dead. And this is real. And this is real.
She looks at the dead man lying on the floor, and then she glances in the mirror. And there she is, larger than life, huge, grotesque. Her dress in the mirror is stained and spattered with red. But that's in the mirror, and she knows that's fantasy. But what is reality, plain and stark, is Dr. Bellows on the floor, and the spreading crimson stain on the carpet. That's real. That's death. I shall return shortly with Act 3. For some, life is an unstable blend of reality and fantasy. Normal people solve the problem by dreaming fantasy and living reality as nearly as they can. But sometimes common sense, rational thinking crumble under the stress. And then reality and fantasy vie with each other for a person's sanity. Right now, what Helen Stewart is looking at is no fantasy. It's that body. And talking to her is no figment of her imagination, but a living killer.
He could have busted this thing wide open, and you and me could have landed in the clink.
But you didn't have to...
Come off it, sister. You don't need that act anymore. You've seen plenty of stiffs in your day. Even made your share of them, too. Now, about the ice.
The ice?
The diamonds. You got no choice. You got to deal with me now. It's me or nobody. Neither one of us can hang around here much longer. It's going to get hot.
Mr. Perry, you see, I don't have
the cops, the feds, and I'll bet the Interpol guys are in on it, too. You don't heist that kind of ice without everybody taking a hand. Hey, tell me something. How'd you doing?
I want to get out of here.
Oh, sure. I shouldn't be bothering you with questions, but... What a caper that must have been, huh?
I've got to get out of here.
Okay. Let's get back to the hotel. You bring the ice to me, I'll be in my room. And I'll have something for you, too.
Yes?
I'd like to make a local call to Dr. Bellows.
Dr. Bellows?
Yes, Dr. Bellows.
Well, I guess you haven't heard. It only happened a little while ago, but Dr. Bellows is dead.
Dead?
Yes, he was murdered.
Murdered?
Yes?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Never mind. And it did happen. It's real. I was there. And Mike Perry is a killer. Now I need...
Yes?
There's a bellman. You know, the man named Farrell?
Yes, Jerry Farrell.
Yes. That's the one. Could you send him up here right away?
Well, I'll try to find him.
Please, hurry. It's very, very important.
Sure. Oh, miss, I have a call for you. Will you take it?
A call for me? Well, who?
It's from the hotel here.
All right.
I'll put it through right now.
Hey, you got the ice?
Mister, why do you insist?
I know for a fact it ain't in your room. Where have you got it stashed, huh?
Mr. Perry, I think you ought to know.
Baby, I know everything I ought to know. Now you pick up that ice and be in my room with it in a half hour, see?
Don't hang up. I've got to tell you. Oh, who's there?
Open up.
Who is it?
Sheriff.
The sheriff?
Miss Craig, I believe that's how you're registered.
Yes, that's my name. Helen Craig.
I'm Sheriff Clegg here in Court County. Miss Craig, you have any identification?
Oh, what do you mean?
Any papers that could prove you're Helen Craig?
Well,
everybody has papers. Driver's license.
I don't drive.
Credit card.
I always pay cash.
And a checkbook with your name?
I don't have a checking account.
Ma'am, you want me to believe you don't have a single piece of paper with your name on it that could serve as identification?
That's right. I don't suppose I have.
Where do you live?
Where do I live?
You're not from around here. You have to live someplace.
Well, I just moved.
Where did you live before you moved?
It was an apartment.
Might I know the address?
278 Northeast 86th Street, New York City.
If we checked there, would we ever find a record of your having lived there?
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
Now, look, I may be a hick constable, man, but I know that New York City streets don't have northeast or northwest.
Oh, well, then why? Why are you asking me all these questions?
Dr. Paul Bellows was murdered less than an hour ago, and you were the last person to have seen him alive.
Me?
Matter of fact, someone heard shots and saw you coming out of the house afterwards.
Oh, but I didn't.
You didn't what?
I didn't kill him.
I didn't say you did, but you was there while it happened. That means you got some explaining to do.
Oh, my Lord. Oh.
Well, what is it? What you staring at the mirror for?
Look at me. I feel all of it. The whole glass. I'm twisted and hideous.
Now, calm yourself, miss. Now, take it easy.
Sheriff, I'm not Helen Craig. I mean, that is, I'm not anymore. I'm Helen, somebody else now.
Helen who?
I'd rather not say. See, I blundered into something. I was mistaken for somebody else, and then...
Just tell us who your husband is and where you're from, and we can clear this up quickly.
Please, let me do it my way. I'm running away from him, and I can't just call on him to help me the first time I get into trouble.
But do you have any idea of how much trouble you might be in?
Yes, and it could ruin him. So you see, I'd rather do it my way.
What's your way?
See, there's a man right here in the hotel. He can clear me. Like you, he's a law enforcement officer.
What kind?
Well, I gather federal government.
A G-man? A T-man? Secret Service? Who?
I really don't know, but he could satisfy you and clear me and...
Who is he? Better let me get there. Sheriff Clegg? Yeah? Who? What's man's name? Farrell. Jerry Farrell. Who found him? Yeah, I see. Dead. Okay, I'll be there right away.
What were you saying about Jerry Farrell?
It never rains, but it pours. First time we ever had a murder here, now we got two of them. This bellhop by the name of Jerry Farrell.
Oh, but he's the government agent. You see, he could have told you.
Told me what?
Sheriff, a man named Mike Perry. See, he thought I was a member of the underworld and that I'd come here to make some sort of a deal. And then Mr. Farrell, who claimed to be a secret government agent, he insisted I was an undercover agent and that I was here trying to trap this Mr. Perry.
Yeah?
Well, I thought it was all a hallucination. And I went to see Dr. Bellows. And I guess it was all real.
What kind of deal were you supposed to make with Mr. Perry?
I was supposed to sell him some stolen jewels.
Where are the jewels?
Well, I don't know. I never had.
Then how can you sell them?
Well, see, Mr. Farrell was supposed to arrange...
It all turns on Mr. Farrell, doesn't it? Mr. Farrell's dead. Now, about Dr. Bellows.
Well, I have to tell you, Mr. Perry killed Dr. Bellows.
Perry, huh?
Well, that's the Mr. Perry who's registered in this hotel. He's a gangster.
Mike Perry?
He's the one.
I'm afraid this has to be the end of the line. Mike Perry's been coming to this place more than 10 years. Mr. Perry's a legitimate businessman from New York.
But I saw him. I saw him kill Dr. Bellows. I saw him standing over Dr. Bellows' body with a gun in his hand. I heard him. And he said he just killed Dr. Bellows.
Now, it won't be too bad for you.
Well, try to believe me.
I don't think it's first degree. That's a help right there. All these hallucinations, you probably got insanity working for you.
Oh!
Who knows? You could even get off.
Oh!
Now, you want to tell us who you are?
I can't.
It'll have to come out.
But I just can't.
Now, you just better sit there and think about it. If you're trying to protect your husband...
It's not that. It's...
Sooner or later, we're going to find out who you are. Now, just think about it. Sit here.
Yes.
I'll be back. And whatever you do, don't try to leave this hotel.
Sheriff, am I under arrest?
What do you think?
Who's there?
Who do you think, baby?
Oh, Mr. Perry.
Well, where's the ice?
I don't have it.
You don't have it, huh? Now, what are you trying to do, play me for a sucker?
Mr. Perry, I have tried to explain. You would never listen. I'm not who you think I am.
You figure you can make a better deal somewhere else?
I'm not out to make any deal. Now, will you please leave me alone?
No. Not till I get the ice.
I'm in enough trouble. The sheriff thinks I killed Dr. Bellows.
Don't hand me that.
It's true.
I'm here to finish the deal.
All right. The deal. With the big fella, as you call him. That was for...
give or take $1 million.
You said you could pay half, all right? Show me your money.
Oh, I see. I see what this is.
You want a deal? Where's the money?
Well, the money comes later.
The money comes now. And I don't think you have it.
You know, you could be right.
Well, that gun isn't going to help you.
Oh, honey, a gun always helps.
Shoot, and they'll hear you.
Not this time. I got a silencer.
And what do you hope?
The ice is in this room. I'll find it.
Mr. Perry.
Meanwhile, I'll just take care of you.
Don't! Sheriff.
The sheriff.
Well, what are you doing here?
I saw him walk into your room, so I thought I'd listen. I was wrong about him.
Oh.
Hey, what's the matter?
I think I'm going to faint.
Well, don't.
Will my husband ever find out?
We got to check with the government, see how much of this can be released.
Fred?
Helen? Oh,
Oh, Fred. I'll answer it. Hello? Oh, just a minute. It's Senator Warren's office.
Oh, that's the call I've been... no. Tell them I'm out.
Mr. Stewart isn't in right now. Yes, he'll call you back. Goodbye.
Where were you?
Why? Did you miss me?
Oh, I can't tell you how much.
Well, you see, I just went away.
Oh, I missed you so much. I almost went out of my mind.
Did you?
I tell you how crazy I was. I'd look in the mirror and I'd actually see your face there, even though you weren't there. So you see, you were wrong. Your image, your reflection hasn't disappeared. Oh, just look in the mirror. What do you see?
I see. Oh, Fred, I see both of us clearly. Very clearly.
Oh, darling. Now, tell me where you went and what you did.
Oh, well, I didn't really go anywhere much. And I really didn't do anything.
It shows you. What's reflected in a mirror anyhow? What's behind the face you see? Next time you notice a quiet, mousy little matron on a plane, a train, or a bus, don't dismiss her out of hand. Don't dismiss us either. I'll be back shortly. Helen Stewart, a lesson to all of you gentlemen out there who don't see your wives' faces in the mirror anymore. Be very careful, because the next face you might see in the mirror could very well be your own. Our cast included Celeste Holm, Wes Addy, William Redfield, and Robert Dryden. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by new sugar-free diet 7-Up, Contac, the 12-hour allergy capsule, and Buick Motor Division. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.